What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Lazy Sunday live stream here on Out of the Basement. I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
What's up, guys?
And we've got a very special guest with us today. We've got Tim from Bossk's Bounty.
Hello, how are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for joining us. We're very happy to finally have you on the show. We thought, who else but Bossk's Bounty would make sense to talk about the brand new Haslab Cantina. That's pretty much the main topic of the show today. There is a brand new TVC Haslab. It is the Mos Eisley Cantina, and it was officially revealed. So we can finally stop dancing around talking about the leaked information because we finally have the full reveal. So we're going to discuss that, and we got to have Tim on, the TVC legend himself.
Yeah, we've been waiting for an excuse to ask Bossk's Bounty on the show, and we finally have. I mean, what better excuse?
Right, exactly. We met at ICCCCC last year, and it was great to meet you in person. It was awesome to hear that very familiar voice, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yep.
You're like, what's he doing here?
Right. Oh, I mean, that was genuinely a surprise to see you all the way in Nashville. So we appreciate you coming on. I know it's a little bit later for you there over in the UK. So we also appreciate you spending your evening with us too.
Got my Tatooine theme going.
Ooh, return to Tatooine. Anyone?
I hope had to represent a little bit.
Oh yeah, I've got my. Rest in peace. Look at we're all wearing appropriate shirts today. How nice. But yes, of course, Bossk, it's great to have you on. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Acolyte as well, probably towards the end of the stream, so that anyone who hasn't watched it, you'll be able to enjoy the bulk of the stream before we talk about the show itself. So let's just start things out like how we always do and say what's up to the chat real quick. Everyone who's joined us so far. We've already got 167 people in here. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe if you're new. We're always talking about the Black Series and sometimes TVC on the channel here. So we got Tom, the Perceptor, who's joined us so far already. What's up? We've got Sean Woods. What's up, guys? Can't wait to watch My Church. We are Sean's church. How wonderful.
Sounds good.
And they also became a channel member.
Hey.
Justin, can you tell me which tier we got here?
That's the first tier.
Okay, awesome. A nice basement dweller. Well, thank you for joining the channel membership, Sean. That's the best way to support the channel. There's a link in the description down below if you would also like to become a channel member. We got Wayne Duckett, who's over in the UK. Nice to see you, Wayne.
Got some representation here in the chat.
That's right. We got Ezra, who's joined us as well. Dill, thank you for being a member for 18 months. Appreciate the support. We also have Hello There Collectibles. Welcome Bossk's Bounty. Thank you for being on OOTB today. We got Daniel here joining from Germany. What's up, Daniel?
Hey.
Pat Dwyer is with us, or Pat Dyer, I should say, not Dwyer. Rena, thank you for being a member for 30 months. 30 months. That's
a long time.
That's some serious long-term support. We appreciate that. We got Sir Bouncin here, Prophet, Paige. She's upstairs, holding it down. Wilbon is joining us as well. Sup, boys and girls, with the new profile picture. I like it.
Whoa.
I like it. Kenobi Jabroni's here with us as well. And Wilbon also sent us a nice little super chat here.
Thank you.
Little $4.99er to get the stream started. He just got back from the gym, and now it's time to get lazy. Absolutely.
That's facts.
It is time. It is time. We got Hooter here with us as well. Darth Educator. Tangy Fungus, which Tangy, I liked that. I like what you sent us.
Yep, I was just too curious. I couldn't wait for the stream because it was just that oddly shaped package. And I'm like, it's hard. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. What's up, Dan? Nice to see you here. Jonathan Anderson, appreciate you showing up as always. And let me see here. I'll give a shout out to Mr. Grudge, who's been a member for 33 months.
Hey.
For the super long-term support. And what's up, Lucas Monster? How's it going? All right. And we got Red Wagon in here as well. Hello, David. Nice to see you.
What's up, David?
All right. So let's just jump into first things first here, since it is Tim's first time on the channel here. If you wouldn't mind just letting all of our lovely chatters and everyone watching so far just introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do here on YouTube.
Yeah, so I'm Tim. If anyone's watching that doesn't know about my channel, I run a channel called Bossk's Bounty, which predominantly features or concentrates on the 3 3/4 inch scale. Don't worry, I'm not here to try and convert anybody. And yeah, that's basically it. Vintage collection. I'm a child of the 80s, so I grew up with the vintage Kenner toys, as you can see from there.
Yeah, look at that.
So yeah, I started a YouTube channel about 7 years ago now, and a website to go with it, and that's it really. It's just grown from there. We've got an awesome community, just like you guys have. So that's about it really. I can't really say anything else.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you on, and yeah, what a beautiful display though in the back there. I love that original Kenner display. That looks so nice.
Yes, they're not cheap, those, but you can get there's a guy that does them over here, but you can ship them over to the States if you wanted one. I know a subscriber of mine called Gary Moore. He's got his original 96 one, and then he's bought another one to do the 96 modern. So
nice.
He's trying to find the best example of every, so most of them are vintage collection, like 2/3 maybe. So and then the rest of them he's put like an old EV99 or whatever from the Power of the Force in there.
Yeah. Is that a complete 96 original for you?
Yeah, that's the full run, yeah, including Blue Snag, which because you can get these cool little like little perspex shelves that go into the slots. You can have two figures, one behind. So you put Blue Snag at the back because he's taller, and then red Snag in front.
Oh,
so if you've got if you're lucky enough to have the vinyl cape Jawa, for example, you could have the vinyl and the cloth cape sitting behind each other like that. But yeah, that's so there's 97 figures in there. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, it took me about 5 or 6 years to complete.
Yeah. How much you spend on it? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, at the beginning, they was a bit cheaper than they are now. That's for sure.
Oh, even in the short span of time that I've been collecting, it's crazy to see how expensive a lot of the vintage Kenner figures have grown. But
yeah, you can pick most of them up for like 20, 30 or whatever, but then there's a few which run into the hundreds, and that's the problem. Crazy. Especially the last 17. It's crazy.
Psycho Emerald, thank you for the $5 super chat. They say, "What's up, guys? Great to see Tim on the show. Been a fan of his for a while."
Yeah, cheers, buddy. Thank you, Psycho. Nate, I'm seeing a lot of new usernames. I think Tim is bringing in some people of his community. There's some people who don't know us. They're on our channel. What's up, guys? Yeah. I'm Justin. That's Nate. And we're a Black Series channel, so we're doing a bit of crossover because of the Haslab.
It just goes to show you that Black Series collectors and vintage collection fans, we can get along. We can get along.
Even you collect a bit of 3 3/4 though, don't you, Nate?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, as you can see behind me, I've got quite a few on display, and my primary focus, at least loose stuff, is Jabba's Palace, but I usually just go Power of the Force because it's a much more affordable way to collect 3 3/4 inch. But yeah, I do love every now and then I get the occasional 3 3/4 inch pickup.
Yep.
Ooh, Eric Shroud, enjoying a blue milk latte in my espresso machine. Do it.
Yeah, we did a little concoction with blue milk yesterday.
Yeah, we made some blue milk milkshakes last night, and of course it was great. The blue milk, the True Moo blue milk is so good.
Yeah. Is the blue milk available over in the UK?
It's not. No.
Oh man.
There's many wonderful things that are available in the States that unfortunately aren't in the UK, and Blue Milk is one of those. Yeah.
Dang.
Killy's Music, what a great team up. Thank you.
Oh yeah. You know, Nate, we do have a small bit of Black Series news, just like a little tiny little quick thing. Yeah.
Okay.
They're cancelling the line.
Yeah, we'll do it real quick so we don't bore Tim out of his mind, like on those Q&As where Tim is just zoning out whenever they're talking Black Series.
Now, I can appreciate them, man. I can appreciate them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Likewise. So if you've been following this chat for the Black Series re-releases, the reissues, we showed off this French website last week, and they've basically just have all the dates up. So last week was Hunter, Crosshair, and Dr. Aphra. Hunter and Crosshair sold out pretty much everywhere now, I think. Yep. This week's will be, there's only 2 this week, and it's Plo Koon and the original Cal Kestis. So, and I also believe the date is wrong on this. I think it will go up June 12th. They like randomly switched them over to Wednesday instead of Thursdays. I think Yakface confirmed that these will be going up on Wednesday as well.
Okay.
So yeah, Plo Koon and Cal Kestis up on Wednesday, fan channel sites everywhere. Another great reason to join the Discord, because we have in-stock alerts. And look at this. Right on the dot, 12 p.m., we had every single link, every store for Hunter, Crosshair, Dr. Aphra. Great reason to join our community over there. You'll never miss a figure if you have the notifications on for this specific text channel. So
that's true.
Great reason.
Hunter and Crosshair went quick. It was like lightning fast how both of them gone immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, 2 of the most expensive, highly desirable Black Series figures. It's no surprise, but man, I want to say, because I had a little bit of a panic moment because I forgot they were going up, but I just needed Dr. Aphra. I wasn't looking to get Hunter or Crosshair. I already have them, but I was having a little bit of a panic. So like 15 minutes in, I was like, oh no, I'm going to miss Dr. Aphra. But thankfully she's still available, and I was able to secure the pre-order on her. But crazy. It's just crazy how quickly they're going.
Yeah.
Can I ask what the deal is with these guys? Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
So obviously they're bringing them out in their original boxes, so they're not like reissues, right? Is this like a result of their poor distribution, and they've just like found a warehouse full of these and they're just getting them back out there? Because even the helmets are in those original boxes, aren't they? Or are they? Has anyone actually bought one of those and got one in hand yet? Where that because you get like the production date on the back of the box, don't you?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if they're like new, and they're being reproduced like that, right. Or
So we do know that they are fresh runs. Like those are brand new. Like they didn't just find them in a warehouse. Like they're fresh runs, and they have the same barcode, UPC, SKU, same packaging, same figures. They are just straight up random reissues. Most of them are, highly desirable on the aftermarket.
Yeah.
But we made a video the other week of like, why aren't they archived? Like, why did they specifically choose to re-release, packaging from 2015? I find that kind of confusing as well. So and then they have like the international archive waves that aren't coming out in the US, but then we're getting these reissues that are like only in the US, because I don't think Star Action is getting these reissues.
No.
Which
it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, like why these aren't available widely to all collectors, especially with like Hasbro's recent, global expansion. You'd think that these reissues would be like almost specifically targeted at people in the UK, people in Europe, but for whatever reason they're US only. Although like we've been saying though, Big Bad at least does ship internationally. So Big Bad Toy Store Does ship internationally. They do have some pretty affordable shipping options as well. So
yeah, I mean, $8, and it might take a while, but I mean, $8 is $8. That's cheaper than Entertainment Earth's shipping in the United States with their $10 shipping.
Yeah. Thank you, Master Razzie, for the Canadian $6.99. We appreciate you. As always, the master of 1/12 scale vehicles and diorama sets. But they say BB and OOTB on the same stream. As a TVC collector, I've been waiting for this fusion for a while. Thank you. Appreciate that. And then we also have a couple new members as well. Big John, 1991.
Big John.
Thank you for becoming a channel member. And also Raymond Baldemar.
There we go.
Thank you for joining.
Tim's bringing the heat.
The channel membership. We're getting that Bossk bounty bump right now.
The Bossk bounty bump, because they probably think we're like TVC guys, but then like they'll probably cancel.
Look behind me. Look behind me. Look, there they are.
That's true. Yeah, for anyone who's watching, I think you said this already, but Nate does casually collect the vintage collection. Heavy focus on OT and specifically like Return of the Jedi, Jabba's Palace. I'm the one that I just can't have two lines going at the same time. I made my choice. We'll talk about it a little later, but there is like, a 0.01% in the back of my mind that questions if I made the right choice of scale 10 years ago. So
that is true. I mean, that is a little tidbit of OOTB lore. Is you started out collecting 3 3/4 inch.
I did, and then you showed me the light of Black Series, and they just, for me personally, they just feels so much better in hand, the articulation and everything. I was like, for Black Series, it's for the character representation. And I feel like TVC, it's more so the world building, more accessories, dioramas, playsets, vehicles, Haslabs that can fund.
Yeah, right.
What?
TVC fans show up while Black Series fans are asleep at the wheel.
Yep. Yeah, so let's just jump into it. It's the main point of today's show. It's the main reason we have Tim. This previous Friday, they revealed the next vintage collection Haslab. And obviously we've been covering all the rumors and everything, the leaks. They were all true. So here it is. Everything rumored.
It was true.
Came up.
All of it.
True. Yeah. The deluxe stuff, the base set. So I think just to start out, why don't we do like a little round table thing for first impressions? Just overall first impressions. Let's start with Tim. First impressions.
Well, I think it looks lovely. I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? Some of the collectors that have been collecting for a long time, this is the dream item that they've been wanting. The bar, just like the barge, that was another one. This for some people is the absolute dream item. I'm sure there's so many people out there that have created their own cantina out of whatever materials, 3D printed, whatever, I'm rubbish at all that sort of thing, so I can't do that. So for me, this is going to be the centerpiece of my collection, along with things like the Jabba's. You can't see it's just out the shot, but as long as things like the Jabba's Palace as well, because it enables me to get lots of my figures that I have in one place, in a scene that is so recognizable from our favorite franchise. So overall, I think they've done a really good job in terms of making it modular, like they're showing off there. And the detail obviously is great with the bar. And I'm very, very glad that they're not locking the figures behind just the deluxe version. I think that would have been really mean. So to get the figures, you only need to get the base version, which gives you pretty much like maybe 3/5 of the cantina, basically, I'd imagine. Because you get the entrance and some alcoves and things like that. The figures that come with it are extraordinary. They are amazing. We'll probably get into those in a bit more detail later. But from a 3 3/4 inch collector to see figures like that is something pretty special. The Greedo especially just looked. I mean, look at him there. I mean, that does not look like a 3 3/4 inch figure. The the level of the detail.
Yeah.
So overall, I'm really, really happy with it. Of course, there's negatives to everything, the price being one of them, I guess. Not everybody can afford it. It is expensive. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not expensive. It is. If we can hit all of the goals, then it becomes more of a value proposition. But as I say, when you're a collector and there's something that comes along that you've wanted forever, I mean, I'm not going to say you're just going to pay anything for it, because you're not, but if there's ever going to be a time where you're going to put your hand in your pocket for something, then this is it, basically. So, but it's what I expected, basically. I think it looks good. I think it's pretty screen accurate. Some people might say different, but in terms of like the floor plan of the Cantina, it's pretty accurate. And just can't wait to get my hands on it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm right there with you. I think this set looks amazing. The detail is off the chain. The main thing for me holding me back is just the price. It's just a little up there for me. But it does look incredible. I think they did a great job with all of the details. I like the texturing on the walls, the subtle, the blue and red paint that's running throughout the entire set. I think the actual, bar itself looks really nice and would appear to have some really great paint app details, especially with like those metallic silvers and gunmetal grays and the bronze and all that stuff. It looks fantastic, but the price is my biggest hang up here, especially when I feel like, for me personally, the only option for this set would be the deluxe set. I mean, you might as well. If you're already spending $400, you might as well just spend an extra $100 and just get the entire whole complete set. So it's kind of weird to me that they did two different options, just because I feel like there's not really a whole lot of savings between the two. And for me, it's like, when you get up there spending that much money, what's another $100? But
I think the reason they've done that is because if you put it all together, it does take up quite a lot of floor space. It becomes more of a coffee table display. Whereas the deluxe version, because it's completely modular as well, you can like butterfly it, fan it out, onto a shelf, and then you can display it like that. So I can understand why they've done it. Yeah, but the price is thing is with the price. I could ask you, is Hammerhead, Deluxe Hammerhead in the Black Series, is that value for money? Is that overpriced?
Right. And I mean, it definitely is, but
yeah. So there's things which are overpriced, and you think they're overpriced. But I was talking to Chris on my live stream about this last night, and we all agree that with Haslabs, there's never a better time to get a Haslab than when it's running, because the minute it's finished and you can't back it anymore, people are putting it on eBay for double the price, and then when it comes back down, I think you can get a Razor Crest now for, I don't know, 500, which is 150 more than it was when you could have backed it. And the Barge is now going for 2,500 when that was 500.
Yep.
Now, you should know, Hasbro shouldn't be making things on the basis of that they're going to be really expensive on the secondary market and pricing them as such. They shouldn't be doing that. But it is true that this is the cheapest time that you'll get it.
Definitely.
And as I said, and as Chris mentioned last night, let's just say it only hits 8,000. You're getting 3 newly tooled figures in there. That's going to be an extremely low run of a figure. That's going to be super rare. And if you're interested in returns on investment, those figures are going to instantly be ridiculously expensive on the secondary market because there's so few of them. So, there's that element to it as well. But if you're just looking at it and saying, is this worth 500? Then obviously you've got to sort of decide that for yourself. And that's why I talked about, if you've been a long time collector and you've wanted this for so long, then ultimately you're probably thinking, that's a bit much, but I'm still going to get it. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And that's always the fairest point. And especially for someone like me, Like one of my biggest collecting regrets is not getting the sail barge. I was collecting at the time, and I was just like, oh, 500, or the barge was 500, right? The barge was 500.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. And of course now I'm like, I would do anything to pay $500 for Java's sail barge in today's world. But
have you seen one in person? Have you been anywhere where you've seen one in person?
I've never seen one in person.
It's an amazing piece, like just from a display point of view, and the fact you can open it all up and put your figures in it. It is great.
Yeah, we had Victoria on a while back, and she had it in her background, and I was just like staring at it the whole time, just like admiring how massive it, even though it was like in the back of her room and like behind her, you could just tell that the scale of that thing was enormous. But Justin, what are you thinking about the Cantina
here
set
comes here? Mr. Negative. Let's go. I'm just kidding. So again, context, I don't collect TVC, so I'm really, really on the outside looking in and trying to like imagine myself as a TVC collector. And if I was a TVC collector, I would get this because the OT is number one for me. And specifically the Cantina and just like the sense of world building that you get in that first film, it's always been one of the most iconic things to me. You know, we're big supporters of Cantina aliens in the Black series. Mm-hmm. Support Moma, Nadan all day, Hammerhead. So just to like play devil's advocate a bit, I guess, some of the points that people have been bringing up is, for example, and it's something I would agree with, is lack of paint in the sense that everything looks really clean. Yeah. The point being, I would almost say the entire thing needs some sort of a dark wash on it to bring out all these sculpted details, especially like this sort of stuff on the wall. Mm-hmm. And all these cracks and crevices. I do think it really would have benefited from a wash, because something about these photos, everything does look really clean. I mean, maybe they can add some.
Well, my buddy Nick, Only One Kenobi, mentioned and reminded me that when the Millennium Falcon, the Galaxy's Edge Millennium Falcon, got revealed, the images look really, really clean. And when we got that, it was really weathered up. So you never know with these. Sometimes the lighting in the studio or however they've done these photos, whether it's on a computer or whatever, sometimes it can, the photos can almost take some of that out. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And then the prototype they had on the desk in the live stream, you couldn't really see it close up enough to see whether that was. I said it in my video when I was talking about the overview of it, that is my one main complaint about it, that it does look a bit clean, because of course it's the hive of scum and villainy. It's a sandy planet. It's going to look dirty, isn't it? So I agree with you there, Justin. Yeah.
Okay, another thing I wanted to say, I'm trying to find like a specific, because there's so many images. I am trying to find like the exterior where it, oh man, where you at? I'm getting the vibe with this that it just almost looks a little awkward for displayability on the shelf.
The third picture, like, Justin? Third picture?
Right here? Yes, thank you. So this is the entrance, and the entrance looks great. I can see some toy photography potential when they're like entering the bar and like have a do-back off to the side or something. Mm-hmm. But my question is, on the shelf, I just feel like this is going to look really odd. And I'm just trying to imagine, like, if I just took this thing and put it on one of my shelves. So I don't know how people are going to display it, because it's on both sides. I guess that's really an issue for the deluxe one, because there's two sides to it. Mm-hmm. I know some people were upset about the lack of roof. I feel like I actually don't agree with that, because in my opinion, you would want to see the figures.
Yeah.
Putting a ceiling on it would be kind of silly.
Yeah, that's one criticism that I'm actually not really on board with. Same thing. I thought at first the lack of floor would be odd, but then none of the other ones have a floor, and I can kind of understand logistically.
The whole thing's modular. If you had a floor, it just wouldn't work, would it? Do you know what I mean? That modularity would be gone, because you can pretty much take apart the whole thing and arrange it how you want. So if you had a floor, obviously the floor's going to be sliding around all over them. It's got to have pegs to put the walls in and whatever. So as soon as you move one wall and you've got a hole in the floor where that peg, I don't think that would work.
Yeah. Tom here saying, where does the Cantina band go?
I've got an answer for that.
Where would you stick them? Where are you sticking them?
Well, they should go in one of the alcoves on the right hand side there, like one of those. Yeah, that one there. So you empty the seats out, you take because in the film, when they filmed the Cantina band bit, that wasn't done in the same studio. They had to do that over in the States, whereas the rest of it was filmed in Elstree over here. So it's like on a sound stage or whatever. If you Google like floor plans for the Cantina, they look pretty much exact to that. And they point to that alcove as being where the band. So what I'm trying to say is there's no such thing as the bandstand that people want. They were just in one of those alcoves, and obviously the way it's filmed. But if you want a true representation of the Cantina, then so that blue one there, look,
right here.
Yeah.
Let me save this image.
Live image saving.
Yep. I don't know why is my desktop it's like bugging out right here.
Probably StreamYard.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Hey. Okay.
Quick shout out though. We did just break 300 concurrent viewers, so thank you so much for watching. Awesome. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to not only us but Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, you can just see there that you can just see bandstand written there on the right hand side, and it's got like an empty alcove, so they're in there.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So whether we can fit 7 of our modal nodes in there is another matter. That is, I'm not pretending that will actually be possible, but that is where they're supposed to go in terms of the layout of the Cantina.
Nice.
Here we go.
That was actually one of my thoughts as well, was where's the band go? But I'm glad. See, this is why we have you on, Tim, because I'm thinking about all this stuff, and I was like, yeah, we need the bandstand. What's going on here? But the logic and reason.
You're not alone. A lot of people mentioned it. It's something I knew. I don't know, not because I was going to be getting a Cantina. I just kind of knew that it was filmed separately, and the way, obviously you can't tell in the movie because it's shot in such a way that it it feels that they're right there as they're filming everything else. But no, they just replicated one of the alcoves and stuck them in there and filmed that bit in. That bit was done in America, California, I believe. So
yeah, I suppose you could make the argument that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, 1 on the side and then 3 regular ones. 1 on the side and only 2 regular ones. But
yeah.
I just don't know about the displayability. Like, when I feel like on these sides, maybe they should have done a texturing or something, just so it looks better on the shelf.
I get you. Yeah.
But how would you display this, Tim? Like, because I feel like you want to look into it, you know what I mean? So how would you plan on displaying this?
Well, I've got these sort of glass cabinets here, so I don't know if you can see my 10T4 playset there. So that's my 10T4. So I'm going to do it similar to that. So the bar's going to stick outwards if it'll fit. I hope it will. I hope the depth will be okay. And then I'm going to fan it out. So I'm going to have maybe 2 of the alcoves on each side. And then I'm going to sort of have the Greedo and Han bit, and then on the other side, I might have some of the aliens or whatever. And then the great thing is, because I won't be able to display all of it in one place, I'll take the other bits that I can't display, and then I'll have them on another shelf where I'll set up Luke, Han, Chewie, doing the deal in another alcove somewhere else in my sort of display. It doesn't have to be all in one place. So
that's a great idea.
And Chris also on my live stream last night was saying that the alcoves are very, very similar to the alcoves opposite Jabba in the palace. So where people like Yak Face are and some of those
don't tell me this, Tim. I can't hear you.
So look, you can have two of those opposite Jabba and then put like Yak Face in there and a few of the others. And this is what's, without trying to convert anyone, this is what's great about the world building scale, that you can do pretty much anything you want with it, and you can create these scenes. And because the line has been going on for so much longer, you can go back to a Power of the Force figure, and although it might not be up to date with today's articulation, it's still a lot of the Cantina aliens just stand there or whatever at the bar. So some of them will just do. You don't really need updating or whatever. Some of them, like Hammerhead, definitely need updating, because the one we have he hasn't got knees. You can't sit him down. So it's just, don't tell him.
I mean, I'm always looking for an excuse to add to the Jabba's Palace display.
Yeah, so I almost feel like... So, Tim, are you... I'm sure you're going deluxe.
Yeah.
For this? Yeah. I almost think the standard would look better on display.
Yeah, so I think you could probably fit it in one of my cabinets like that. I think you probably could. And that would, it'd look great, because you could see that's a great shot there. You could have the barman on the side looking out, some of the aliens on this side, some on the back, so you can see their head sticking up. You could have Greedo and Han in one of those out there, or whatever, and it would look fantastic. My Jabba's set looks amazing with all of the figures, and I absolutely love it. If I had something like that when I was a kid, I would have been over the moon. Obviously we just look at them now, but well, some of them might play with them. I don't know. I don't know what you two get up to in your spare time.
Well, every now and then you got to get a little fiddle in.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, as I say, I think that's why they've done this, because I think a lot of people might go for that option because it's more displayable. Whereas if you go for the full one, it's definitely more of like a coffee table type arrangement where you're looking down into it.
Yeah, because I would also say, if you're going standard, putting the roofs on the alcoves would make more sense, but on the deluxe it would make more sense to have no roof or no coverings on it, so you could actually look in and see the figures. And then basically to cap off my first impressions, the price is always a hard one for me to analyze, because passion is the main reason we collect any of this stuff in the first place. And we were huge, one of the only channels, along with Mike Case, that were hardcore campaigning for the Rancor, and we just wanted that Rancor so bad. Yes, it's overpriced. All of this stuff is basically overpriced to some degree, but it's the passion and the emotional connection to, there's toy, even spending $20 on a toy, you could say that's stupid, that's a bad investment. So price is always hard for me to analyze, because if you want something, you want something, and $350 seemed like a lot of money for the Rancor, but it's on the grand scheme of things, that isn't that much money, on our year to year basis. So I'm sure a lot of people are thinking the same thing with this TVC set. If you want something and it's a dream product, you're gonna get it. So since I don't collect TVC, I can't really speak on the price, I
was the same with the Rancor. I think the Rancor may have even scaled well with 3 3/4, because it's a big old thing. But as soon as they showed the Gamorrean Guard on the Power of the Force card, the passion in me and the nostalgia in me thought, I just want that, and I was prepared to back it, even though the rest of the figures I probably wouldn't have done anything with, just because I think a 6-inch scale Rancor would look flipping cool.
Yeah.
But it's one of them, isn't it? And also we can't forget that everything Star Wars is expensive. Like Lego is expensive, but then if you look at Lego Star Wars, it's even more expensive.
Oh yeah.
If you get a Lego City set versus a Lego Star Wars set, whether it's you look at like piece count or whatever, that license fee cranks it right up. And it's a money machine for them. So.
Mm-hmm.
There was an interesting question here from Chaz the Guru. They say, Tim, do you think the deluxe piece will be in a separate box? It doesn't make sense to make two different TVC boxes for the regular and deluxe sets.
Yeah, so obviously I don't know, but the way I think they might do it is go something like they did for the Sky Striker. If you remember that with the Haslab Sky Striker, the GI Joe, where you open the outer box and then you've got the set, which is the plane and everything, and then underneath that there was like another section to the big box, and you had all of the sort of radio center and I can't even remember what else was in there, but all of the extras, and then the 7 carded figures in a row, sort of stacked. That's kind of how I'm thinking they might do it. You see, it's one big box, and then when you open it, you've got the Cantina box, and then like a second layer with other stuff. I'm with Chaz. I can't see them creating 2 different boxes. And if they are going to do that, then they need to announce that, because there's some people that will, you know what inbox collectors are like.
Oh yeah,
they'll be like, I must have both.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could definitely get 2 sales out of a lot of people if they were like 2 different boxes.
Yeah, because they said this is going to be in like a nostalgic Kenner style box, right?
I don't know if they've said anything specific, but I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's TVC. It'll be a Kenner style box.
Yeah, even the Ghost is in a Kenner style packaging.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right, so let's jump into a little bit about let's take a deeper dive about what the difference is between the standard, or what do they call it, the base price, and the deluxe. I think this explains it really well. This image right here, this is what comes with the Cantina, and then the deluxe attachment is like this additional stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of cups.
a lot of cups.
There was a lot of cup banter going on in the stream, wasn't there?
And it's the same thing with Black Series. Like it's kind of a joke in the Black Series community as well, that cups, everything comes with cups. Like just throw some cups in there and make it deluxe. They have an obsession with cups, that that Star Wars team. So they said like 8, I think it was 9 different styles of cups. But I mean, I do love all this variety of color with like the liquids and just whatever this stuff is. A bunch of chairs and tables. I like that they have the chairs that are like 2 put together to make the longer like booth style chairs, and then the longer table as well. That was like a blink if you miss it scene, if I remember correctly, with that. Some bar stool type stuff, like the lights, the tables with the lights. At first I was like, why are they including more tables than alcoves? But it was quickly explained to me, like, they're all over the place in the Cantina scene. There's some that are just like in the open spaces.
Yeah, it's a crowded joint. Yeah,
for sure. And someone was asking earlier if there's enough 3 3/4 inch figures to populate this. I would say absolutely. If you're counting like Saga Collection, Power of the Force, like
easy.
Like some of those Saga Collection figures, and like they don't need modern articulation and all that. Like the paint and the details on a lot of those figures are like excellent. So just like sticking them in the Cantina to populate them would be it would work for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would say almost every Saga Collection figure still holds up just perfectly fine. And I feel like if they did vintage collection versions, they would not be painted as well as they were at one point in time. But yeah, this is And there's also like some stickers that are included with this as well.
Oh, here it is. What exact is this like on the base offering?
Yeah, that just comes with it. Yeah. So that's for the outside. So there's lots of different, whatever sort of era you want to make your cantina.
Dude, Nate, look.
Don't show me that.
Nate's about to back it.
Yeah.
But all right. And then let's talk about the figures included. I got a folder here. So first let's just talk these figures are included in the base. Let's start with Wooher. How are you guys feeling? I think this is a pretty common sense, like easy base offering.
Yeah, and it's fantastic execution as well. It's so good.
Yeah.
What a card back that is as well. If you're just a carded collector, that's just.
Love that.
He's got changeable hands. So you can do the different things. He's got his sawn off under the bar.
He's about to shoot any droid that tries to enter the cantina.
Yeah. I love the pointing finger. It's such a good detail. An alternate hand as well, especially on a 3 3/4 inch figure, is really cool to see. Cup.
Yeah.
So is this him like cleaning out the cup or something? Or
I think that's what that's supposed to.
It's kind of neat.
It kind of works. A little 2-for-1 special. It's the pointing finger, but it's also the. You could use it to make it look like he's cleaning out the glass.
Droids. They'll have to wait outside.
Now, before this, and I'm going to test some of your knowledge, Tim. When is the last time there was a Wooher? Was it Power of the Force, or is there something from like Saga Collection?
So there's the Power of the Force version,
and
then I think there's another one in like Saga Collect. I can't remember which line it's from, but there's a set that you can get with like 2 other figures, I think. But I think it's just someone might correct me on this. I think it's just a repaint of that original figure. I could be completely wrong, but it's a long time, put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I have Wooher in my Jabba's Palace because in my mind, in my collection, I'm like, the people that go to the Mos Eisley Cantina, they definitely also go to Jabba's Palace. Like they're not that far away. But I've always just used the Power of the Force one, which obviously, while the Power of the Force aliens look great, the human characters can definitely use a lot of work. Yeah. So it was really cool to see Wooher. No brainer. I like the alt pointing hand. I really think that's very necessary.
And where TVC's come a long way is with the head sculpts and the. I mean, look at that. And they've nailed it.
Right. If I didn't know any better, I could suspect that this is a Black Series figure easily. Just looking at how good the face detail is.
We would see this paint, and then we would immediately know it's not a Black Series
we'd be like,
figure.
wait a minute, there's a wash. That's not Black Series.
Yeah.
Chest hair deco.
I was like, oh, man.
No, yeah, Wooher looks great. And of course, it makes sense to pack him in. Glad he's not a tier. Just like when the Rancor was out, Malik Hilly should have been included immediately, no matter what.
Yeah, I was gonna say
not a last ditch Hail Mary to try and get people to back it.
I was gonna say, like, this is kind of a 1-to-1, like what the Rancor should have done. You have your Rancor keeper, Malik Hilly, immediately. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cantina. It's almost like, for Haslab at least, Vintage always does everything that Black Series did wrong.
It seems so obvious though, doesn't it?
Yeah, like the Ghost Ship, they had a fully painted model right then and there at the convention that they revealed it at, and for the Rancor we got gray render. Like, oh man, try not to dwell too much on it.
and doing things like stretch goals of some rocks and bones and stuff. That's just not, because everybody knows what they want with that Rancor. Mm-hmm. It's obvious what everybody wants with that. You want the Rancor keeper, and you want Ula.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Rena, My heart almost sank when I saw 159,000. I was like, wait
We'd
a
all
second.
be back in the cantina then.
I'm like, I'll back it. Thank you for I believe that's Indonesian currency. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you.
Back at Nate, send super chat so he will back it. Hey, I get half of that. So keep that in mind. I get half of all this.
Oh man.
But
you guys are gonna send me over the edge here.
I think they started a train here. Thank you so much, Rena. We also got Risk Llama coming in with $10 Canadian. This is for your cantina, Nate. Also, P is to be known as Poncho. Oh, Psycho Emerald. That is all. Yeah, he's now Poncho.
Poncho.
Thank you so much. Highly appreciate it, guys. Riley Bob, thank you so much. Come on, Nate, back it. One of us. One of us.
He's a channel member of mine, Riley Bob. Great guy. There you go.
Nice. Appreciate your guys' support for sure.
You guys are making it tough for me. Making it tough.
I feel like Nate's gonna back it.
I might have to. I'm gonna be.
I mean, hey, you got a bamboo for $600. What's another $500?
I'll be like you, buying an Xbox and a bamboo back to back.
Yeah, that was
just like money is no object to Justin here. That YouTube payment hit.
Volt is asking, no bar stools. Is that right?
I think there might be.
My knowledge is so I don't know which ones are supposed to be considered bar stools.
Yeah, good point actually.
Oh, there is. See these?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
They're on a higher pedestal.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Okay. So not as many, or is there more included with the? Are there more stools?
Hang on,
stools included with the deluxe offering?
No.
Just regular chairs. Okay.
I think those are regular.
I mean, there's in the scene, most people are standing at the cantina. As far as
absolutely,
they're standing there. So
I'm pretty sure that they said that they got images from Lucasfilm, and they've made sure that everything included was in there and the right amount of them and things like that. I'm pretty sure. They said they went into like painstaking detail for it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, Nate is a black. Nate and I are black. We're a Black Series channel. This is like the first time we've ever had, I feel like, people not knowing who we are.
Hey, that's cool though.
Channel. That's great. People are probably subscribing.
I know a few of these names. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I primarily Black Series, but I love dabbling in vintage collection. I love the world building. That's what draws me to the vintage collection. Is something like all of this could never exist in Black Series scale, and it would be too massive. It would be undisplayable.
Which is something that I feel like a lot of the Black Series community doesn't understand is scale and just how large. Like, people are like, give me a LAT gunship. Give me a Slave 1. I'm like, dude, it's going to be as tall as you.
Yeah.
Like, they actually sent a really good picture in the Discord that, like, really encapsulates how big. Yeah, here it is. If you're in the Discord, check this out, because this little tiny guy, that's like a regular human, and that's how large these vehicles. So even like, where's the Slave 1 on here? It's somewhere on here, and it's like as tall as the guy. So like,
because I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, we want a Black Series X-wing," and I think I can't remember who it was at the time. One of the Hasbro people said the problem with that is that the wingspan would be 4 feet. So the barge is 4 feet, right? So you're talking like this, and then the fuselage would be even longer, and the engine sticking out the back. I mean, that thing would take up most people's living rooms. Not in the US. You guys have massive houses, but in the UK, that would take up most people's living rooms. So,
it's just not something that could be realistically displayed.
Give me the turbo tank right here. I want to ride that thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to drive it.
Can I ask you guys before we get on? Can I just ask you quickly before we get on to more about the Cantina? What is like the biggest complaint Black Series collectors have? is it the lack of vehicles and creatures, or is it like the character selection? Do you, when something gets announced in Vintage Collection that could potentially be a, like maybe it's just a figure, for example, do Black Series collectors go, oh, I wish, is that the main complaint? What is it that really sort of grinds your gears?
So for us personally, I'd say lack of paint.
Yeah, I think
Community,
it's.
You could go ahead, Nate.
No, I was just gonna say I think the paint is our biggest personal hang up. Is just everything is so clean now. There's no more washes. It was incredible to see Hammerhead have a wash on him. We were like, oh man, there's paint. Look at the paint.
Yeah, when we got Wicket in the line and he had a wash on him and he had paint on the face, and I get that it's a small figure for full price, but it's like, this one has paint, guys. Like, it's so rare. That's our personal biggest complaint with Black Series, but community as a whole, I would say like the high amount of like repaints.
Yeah, Wilbon says more creatures, small vehicles. Toby says accessories and paint. Jayhawk Jedi, lack of paint, piece count.
The only reason I ask is because I remember when I think it was when the Jabba's Goons 4-pack, the Jabba's Goons 4-pack got released, and we've got Squidhead in there, and we've got Velkin Tazeri and Tamgen Daran, I think his name is, if I got that the right way around. The guy that shot Luke Skywalker's hand on the barge.
Right.
And I think there's like a main Black Series account on Instagram, it's very, very large. And in the comment, in the description of the image or whatever, I think they said something along the lines of, Hasbro, if you want to get the Black Series right, just look at the Vintage Collection and do it in 6-inch. And then I thought to myself, would those characters, how well would those characters do in the Black
Not at
Series?
all. Not at all.
You know what I mean? Because I just thought I think you're collecting the wrong scale if that's the characters you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's something I've thought about over the years. In the back of my mind, like, did I choose the right scale? Because in Black Series, you can just tell that we have a much younger demographic. Like, if I were to guess, obviously I have no access to any sort of like analytical data, but our community is obsessed with Clone Wars, prequels, like the fan polls. Everyone's voting for the Clone Troopers. That is just a different color, like a different scheme. And it's it's one of the most annoying things about being in the Black Series community is the obsession with clones. It's one of the most annoying things because they do look at the fan polls, and I'm like, guys, like come on. So I think we have a huge demographic of younger people, but even someone like me, I'm 28. I wasn't alive for the OT, but the OT, like, I watched it as a kid. It's my number one. They are masterful films preserved in the National Film Registry for a reason. They're iconic. Nothing beats the OT. So like Nate and I are obsessed with the Cantina aliens, Jabba's denizens. We love Clone Wars. Like, don't get us wrong. We love Clone Troopers. I buy every Clone Trooper that they put out.
Yep.
So
Guilty.
like some people get it twisted when I hate on the Clone Trooper obsession. I buy every clone, but I just wish they would just a little tiny bit give us a little more variety. They have been starting to do that a little bit with prequel film characters because they were so focused on Clone Wars, and now they're starting to give us some prequel movie stuff like the Droideka, Super Battle Droid, Sidious, Ki-Adi-Mundi. Like, I've been loving that. But I do miss this, sort of stuff for sure. And especially like if we were to continue
sorry to digress. I just wanted to...
Oh no, you're good. Whatever you want. You talk about whatever you want. But I do miss this sort of stuff in collecting as well. So one of the second base unlock, not a tier, we have the Tonica sisters, which is a huge deal.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, this is incredible news. I mean, Victoria at Victoria's Cantina. I know she's got to be.
They referenced it when they released it, I think.
In absolutely elated that we're finally getting these two. As far as my knowledge goes, neither of them have ever had figures at any point in time. So these are never been done characters, which is crazy that it's taken this long. Considering they are some of the few Cantina patrons where there is like a direct shot of them standing there. Usually they've covered those characters that have like like an actual camera shot in the movie on them. And it's incredible to see these two. Even these early prototype images look amazing.
Again, nailed the head sculpts.
They also said in the stream that there's more details that are going to be added to the two figures. So these are still just like rough ideas of what they're going to look like. And, this is going to be the only way to get the Tonica sisters as well. They've confirmed that as much. And same thing with the Wooher. Those three figures are going to be exclusive to the Haslab set. There is no planned future release for those three, which is a little bit of a bummer and might be, worth a discussion. I know someone had brought it up earlier in the chat, but Tim, what do you think about these three characters specifically being locked into the Haslab set?
Well, nobody likes anything being locked behind a paywall, but if they want to sell the Cantina, then this is going to go a long way to helping do that. They are specifically in the Cantina. They're not seen anywhere else. So it's one of them, isn't it? They've got to make these items exclusive in some way. And, for the people that, especially for the people that can't afford it, not necessarily that don't want it, but just can't afford it, that is a shame. And, these figures will be expensive on the secondary market, especially if we only just manage to get 8,000. 8,000 of a figure. Considering what's a normal run, I don't know. 50,000, I honestly don't know, but I would guess it's somewhere around 50,000. If they made a Darth Vader, they'd probably make 50,000, and if they sold really well, they'd do another run of 20,000 or something like that. So if you've got a figure, there's 8,000 of them. It's crazy.
Yeah. It would absolutely,
And somebody else asked there as well that would I buy the Cantina if it didn't have the Tonica sisters in it? And I personally would, as long as it had two other figures in it. But if they weren't included, I would still buy it because I'm looking down, I've probably got 20 different figures for the Cantina sitting on a shelf at the moment because I don't have a Cantina. So that fixes that problem.
This is, it's just great news. And I think these two are actually, I would assume, huge draws for a lot of people to back this set, is getting these two figures. Highly requested, never been done before. I think it makes sense from a business standpoint, to have the two Tonica sisters in here, because you're going to get that hardcore.
People are going to back it just to get
them. And I'm sure depending on how this goes after the funding is over, these two may straight up pay for your entire purchase. Just based on how we've seen, Haslabs get a cure value over time.
Everybody collects differently. So I remember when the barge came out, people didn't care about the Yak Face because you could get the Yak Face figure in the main line, but not on the Paraforce card. So if you're not a carded collector, you're not really bothered about that. But they were selling that for 300. So they're already paying for more than half of their barge just from the one figure. This Cantina, if it hits all of the stretch goals, comes with 6 exclusive figures, which is, it's pretty decent if we can hit the 17. If we don't hit the 17, obviously the value proposition of it reduces each time, which is a bit, from that point of view.
But still, we've seen it time and time again that even when they do hit all the tiers, like even the Ghost right now, it's not even out and it's still, it's already $200-$300 over than what it cost to buy someone's eBay pre-order. It's not even out yet.
Yeah, anybody that's listening, please do not do that. Do not buy someone's pre-order.
Yeah,
because
that's just
wait. They will come down. They will come down. They will.
Yeah, and I feel like that's just too. It's too risky to buy someone else's pre-order. Like I feel like
that's so weird.
That's like a huge.
It could turn up damaged. The box could be damaged, or the inside of it. It's a massive risk.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the channel support, Rezakai.
Yep, Rezakai.
Hey Tim and fellas. Question: How do Black Series collectors feel about the loss of thigh cut in the 6-inch line? That's an interesting question because like some figures have come out and that doesn't have it, but then some come out and they do have it.
Yeah,
so I think they're in this weird experimental phase or something. I don't know.
Right, because like like a lot of the Ahsoka series figures didn't have the thigh swivel anymore, which they do have like a deeper hip cut joint, so you still get some of that articulation. But then like Kiadi-Mundi just comes out and he has thigh swivel. So it, like you were saying, Justin, it's weird. It's almost like they've got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like they can't decide whether they're going to actually remove the thigh cut or not. And
I'm a fan of thigh cut.
Yeah.
It's just a line. It doesn't mess up the visual look. I mean, look at the Tanaka sisters right here. That line does not mess up the physical, aesthetic of these figures at all.
I think it's a weird thing because that is the whole like reason behind them getting rid of the thigh cut is to make the figure look aesthetically better.
Well,
I'm like
as well.
Well, of course,
yeah.
But it's one of those where it's like that piece of articulation actually typically doesn't affect how the figure looks aesthetically.
Yeah.
That's like one of the few where you're just like, oh, it's just a line, unless it's like some super elaborate sculpt on the thigh. But typically it seemed like a weird piece of articulation to get rid of.
Yeah, I heard them at the time say that the hips have got so good now that you don't need that cut. I don't know. No.
Yeah, because like Malgus is still an excellent. Like I wouldn't say his articulation is limited with the absence of thigh cut. So like, there are some where it like Late Night is saying there are some. It's kind of a case by case basis.
Mm-hmm.
No balance the scales talk on this stream. We swore it off. We swore it off. Dante's Toys.
Balance them.
Balance the scales.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the Tanaka sisters, and now let's get into the actual tiers. The first tier, unlocked at 11,000 backers, is Greedo. How are you guys feeling on this as a stretch goal? Because I have some thoughts on this one as a stretch goal, but how are you guys feeling?
I feel that Greedo had to be included in a Cantina.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to sell a Cantina, you've got to have Greedo in there. Because you're not going to have the main characters like Han, Luke, Ben, whatever, But from an alien point of view, you've got to have Greedo in there. He's the most recognizable, famous, has the most screen time alien in the Cantina. So I can understand why he's in there. What I've said to everybody is that all of these stretch goals, they've said that the only thing that's exclusive about these is the card back.
Mm-hmm.
So there's every possibility that these other figures that are in the 3 stretch goals could be released outside of the Haslab, but on a different card back. And I talked about this in my Q&A video today, but I can't be bothered to go and get Greedo, but he's over there. The Greedo card back, the original 96 Kenner card back, is a different image. That's a new image. So they're saving the original 90. This is what I think anyway. They're saving the original 96 card image for another release. Maybe not in the main wave, but maybe in like a 3-pack or a 4-pack of, something like that with some of the other characters. They're definitely going to bring out Greedo again, but on his actual original 96 card back. but yeah, it is a bit weird having a stretch goal for him. I understand what you probably want to say on it, Justin, but I feel the Cantina has to have him as a included somehow.
You know? Yeah, because I think the main critique on this one is Greedo would probably sell fine on his own. So maybe they could have done something.
Well,
different.
I think again, and this is Chris, my buddy from Bansko, is a lot more up on this, and he said that Greedo historically has always peg warmed in 3 3/4 inch.
Really?
He's just one of them that, you know, the hardcores will get him, but if he's just sitting on a shelf in a shop, he's not picked as much as maybe other characters. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with Chris, but so when they do release him again, they might, as I say, they might put him in a 4-pack with, I don't know, Ponda Barber or whoever else, you know.
Yeah, and I think they'll definitely do just like they did with the Denizens pack for Jabba's Palace. Yeah. I would 100% guarantee they're going to do the same thing for the Cantina. I mean, it makes sense to just kind of emulate that. So maybe he will be packed in there. But yeah, that was kind of my thought though. Initially was odd choice for a stretch goal. Maybe Greedo just could have been an included figure as well. Just simply
because... I'll be opening them all. Yeah, I'll be opening them all.
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
all right.
You can't wait all this time for the Tonica sisters and just leave them on card. That seems a little extreme.
I mean, you know, this is what I was talking about. You know, people collect differently, so you could potentially buy the deluxe, and I'll open everything, and then I buy the the standard one just for the cards, and then sell the Cantina to somebody else that, you know, do you know what I mean? So then I kind of get some of my money back, but then I've got my carded set.
Right.
Again, you know, we're talking about a lot of money here, and it's, you know, I'm not, you know, you'd never advise someone to, you know, spend their kids' dinner money on it or whatever. But, you know, I'm in my 40s. I've got a, you know, this is my only real hobby really. So it's what I spend my money on at the end of the day. But that's what I kind of like about that, the figures being available in the standard one, because if you are going to, you know, because people have complained, like with the Ghost, if you wanted those exclusive carded figures twice, you got to buy 2 Ghosts. What are you going to do with the other Ghost?
Right.
It can't connect to the other one, or, you know, so yeah.
That's a good point, because when I first heard of the idea of doing a base and a deluxe version, I thought the execution was going to be like kind of scumbag status, like with what they include, but I think the base versus deluxe thing actually kind of makes sense. And like you said, I do like that you can get all the figures just by backing, like no matter which one you back, you get the figures, depending on which stretch goal it hits. Which, speaking of stretch goals, the second stretch goal at 14,000, I really like the deep cut here. Nabran leads.
Yep.
All right. I like this as a stretch goal. I like deep cuts because they're probably going to do other Cantina type stuff. You know, the whole 2025 return to Tatooine thing. So like, I kind of like that they're going to do some deep cuts in the Haslab. So how are you guys feeling about old Nabran here?
Well, this is the only one that I'm not disappointed with it, because it's an amazing update to what we already have, but we do have a Saga Collection version of this figure.
Ooh.
And although he doesn't have the elbows and, you know, he's obviously not as a detailed figure, he looks pretty good just standing there. So I think maybe there was other Cantina aliens that need more of an update, like Labria with the guy with the horns.
Yeah.
And he has an actual, you know, front on shot. So, you know, whereas this guy's just kind of in the background. There's also like never before made characters like the Spaceman. So you've got the guy that's in the Bossk, yellow Bossk outfit with the Spaceman helmet. They could have done him. But as I said last night, I'm not going to moan at this, because this is the first, you know, we've got a 4-armed articulated 3 3/4 inch figure there, highly detailed, looks absolutely amazing. But I did feel that was if there's one thing that I would change, it would probably be that, because I've got a figure. Let me see if I can get him.
That's a very interesting point, and that's kind of the value in bringing you on, because you would have more 3 3/4 inch knowledge. So that does make me want to like beg the question, because like the TVC. Oh, there he is.
So you see what I mean? If he's just standing at the bar, he looks pretty good, but he's got no elbow articulation. They move at the shoulder, but there's no elbow articulation whatsoever. But in terms of it just looks all right.
Right.
So considering there's some other aliens that we just don't have at all, I was surprised that they went with that one. But as I say, I'm not going to moan about it, because I think it's like a flex. They're flexing what they can do at this scale. And that we're talking, that could open up Rio from Solo, which we haven't got. Black Series has. Ponkrell, characters like that.
So with the TVC community, from what you see and from what you understand, how okay are 3 3/4 inch collectors with having just like, oh, I have the Saga collection one? Because we don't have that in Black Series. Like, what we get in 6 inch is just what we get. We don't have like previous Hasbro 6 inch lines to pick from. So like, are TVC collectors okay with just like, oh, I have the Saga collection one, so maybe a new TVC one isn't that high of a priority?
It's definitely a character by character basis. I think when you're trying to move forward, and then something old is never okay. It's never okay, I guess, but you always want everything to be of the same standard. And this is what we're talking about when we're saying, really, if you're going to do a Luke Skywalker, a brand new Luke Skywalker, then make sure you do him in the same year that you do Han, Ben, Chewie, because you don't want to wait 5 years and the technology and the standard of the figures to have come on so much, and then all of a sudden your two characters that are in the same scene just look completely, there's a mismatch, But for something like that just literally stands there, then you're probably going to be okay with it. For somebody that needs lots of articulation, like, we desperately need a new Jedi body, for example. Just like a base Jedi body that they could use for like multiple different characters, because the ones we have can't even hold the lightsaber in 2 hands and things like that. So, as I say, it is a character by character basis. Some figures don't need as much articulation as others. But then when you look at some of the Power of the Force aliens, they need an update really, really badly.
Yeah, because when I go to Nate's and I see his like Jabba's Palace, and it's a mix of all the 3 3/4 inch lines, like a lot of them look still to this day, like they look really good as just like kind of standing there. And especially if we get into like Jabba's Palace denizens and like Cantina, like a lot of those, they just need to look cool because they don't necessarily need to be dynamic.
Right. It's like, for me, what always comes to mind is like Ifant Man or Hermie Odal. Those two figures still look incredible to this day, and they are just 2 characters that were just standing there. So them being 5 POA, or actually they're a little bit more than 5 POA, but they're just perfect as is. They're perfect.
Yeah. There's lots of figures from like the Legacy collection, what are we talking, like 14 years ago now, that could have been repacked into the vintage collection, no problem at all. I'm thinking about like the Ugnaughts or whatever. It was amazing when we got that carbon freezing chamber that they didn't include an Ugnaught or re-release the Ugnaughts, because they could have just repacked one of those. They don't need like Jedi clone trooper type articulation for an Ugnaught. And they are really, really detailed and really, really well painted. But it's when you go back a little bit further, as you know, as I mentioned, the guy with the horns, that one is a really poor looking figure, and it definitely needs updating because he's from the Power of the Force. He's got he's like a muscle man figure.
He's got the bulk.
Oh,
exactly. Yeah. So that's what I mean. It is definitely a figure by figure basis that we do this, and because the line's being 3 3/4 inch has been going on so long, you know, with what you just said there of the Black series, you know, 10 years ago, you're starting to see now, aren't you? Like, photo real has really helped, but then some of those older figures, like maybe the layers soft goods or whatever, wasn't great back in the day, and they could maybe update that. And because you're getting a new layer, for example, it'll probably be like the TVC one, plastic, you know. So there's always improvements they can do.
Yeah. And in Black Series, there's this really odd thing they do, like 99% of the time, where they won't redo a character unless it appears in some more relevant media. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to get a new Hope Han, the most iconic look of Han. We're stuck with the one from 2013. Like, for some reason, there's a few exceptions, but most of the time, it's like they won't redo a figure until it's like pops up in some Disney Plus show, like the 501st, Oppo. So,
yeah, well, we're stuck with the Han Solo from 2004. So,
so you guys have been waiting a little bit longer.
At the time, he was a good figure, you know, but it just doesn't hold up these days when you look at the layer, for example. Having those two together now, it's a complete mismatch. So.
Justin's spreading my theory to 3 3/4 inch now. The theory is true, man. Yep. The theory is true.
They love their definitive looks.
Yep. And the final tier, unlocked at 17,000 backers, is I need some explaining because I thought this character was a different name, but apparently there's 2 different versions of Wolfman.
They're 2 different species as well.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So is this Arleal
Shoosh?
Shoosh? Is this the one from the theatrical cut? Because he has the red eyes.
He got cut out. He's the one that originally faces the I think it's called Dice, that like sort of worm type creature.
Yeah.
And then they cut him, and in the special editions, they replaced him with another character that looks like a bit of almost like an elephant.
So this is the one from like the theatrical cut. That is amazing, actually. Because they normally, I feel like they would be hard pressed to get approval for that.
Well, you know, when the very first shot of the Cantina, when the guy with the 2 red eyes, his head comes up into the shot. You know, Hemdazon, his name is. This guy is to his left, and then there's 2 other characters to his right. So he's literally on screen for like half a second.
Yeah.
This is what is great about 3 3/4 inch and world building, that we can get a character like that. And what a shame he's at 17,000, because it would be a massive shame if we didn't unlock him. I mean, this is a dream for some people. You know, this is what people want. Not everybody, because a lot of TVC fans, you know, couldn't care less about, you know, some weird Cantina alien that's on screen for like 3 seconds. But for some people, this is like, you know, they've had their Cantina set up, and this is the one of like 3 characters that they're missing, and they're finally doing it, you know.
Oh, was I wrong? This guy says no, or Zooboy says no. Justin, hold up. This guy is still in the special edition, very first show of Cantina.
But
so it was Lax Sivrak who got cut.
Oh, was it? Oh, was it? Oh, was it Lax Sivrak that got cut? Yeah, he might be right, actually. Yeah, he's definitely still in it though, because he's on the shot with Hemdazon at the front. You know, when you get that first shot.
Yeah. And
there's another character called Pons Limkin, and he's got like the brain head, but you can't see him because he is behind Hemdazon. So, but they made a figure of him as well. So,
yeah, it's still cool. I love the red eyes. I love the sculpt on that.
Yeah, he looks so good. I mean, justice for Lax Sivrak too, just because, you know, Power of the Force was the last time for Lack.
Yeah.
I have that one in Jabba's palace.
Ketwal, that's right, is replaced with Ketwal. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. It was Laxivrak, wasn't it? Replaced with Ketwal, but this guy is sitting there, behind Hemdazon.
Should we take a nostalgic trip?
Ketwall. Oh, that's right here. Look at that.
There you go.
Always within arm's reach.
Hey.
Yeah. Did you, Nate? Did you know with that figure that you can turn his head around and it creates another figure?
No. What?
So turn his head all the way around 180.
Oh. So this is a different character?
Yep.
What? How
there he is. There he is.
Yeah.
Ah.
There you go.
Look at that. I'd love to get this guy too.
Yeah, so we've got him. So this is the great thing now. In that shot there's 4. We've got all 4. If we unlock 17th, that we'll have all 4 of those aliens. The one behind his head you can't see but you see him in another shot later on.
You have a muff, not in vintage, but there's a Saga muff tack, right?
Yep.
He still looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, he's fine, yeah.
It's crazy, like, it's just looking in the background, there's just so many more than you think. There's like, what, 50? Okay, so who... Oh, this is the despecialized. Okay, so that is Lack, right? Yeah. This is the 4K 77 theatrical cut you're showing. So chat, which one is this?
I'm getting confused now what we're watching, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he looks like he's got that same ski jacket on.
Yeah, so whoever this is, I think this is who got cut, right? That's the shot that was cut, says Zoo Boy.
Yeah.
But then
no, that's Ariel.
Yeah.
Or Arleel.
That's what it looked. That's what
he's got the same jacket on, yeah.
I was gonna say Arleel looks like the same jacket.
So the bit that was cut is when they're facing off at each other. So there's the spaceman, look, in the yellow suit.
Oh yeah.
So I think you've probably gone past it, I think.
Analyze the Cantina. We must analyze.
This one is who?
That's Arleel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So does it actually cut back to him?
Yeah. I think it does.
Yeah.
Or is that so it is the same character?
So we've got both of those. There he is again. Oh no, so we haven't gone past it yet. Keep going.
Love the analysis on stream. Disney, please don't copyright this stream, okay? We're supporting your products.
The stream's getting shut down.
Cabe.
Yeah, Cabe.
Yeah, so he needs redoing, that guy.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Okay, so yeah, like you were saying, this is apparently, they're not on a stage, which I always thought, like, the Landspeeder Luke thing, I've always assumed that was, like, a made-up, just, like, a fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no actual stage that they're on, right?
No.
I love the Landspeeder Luke print, and I printed it myself, and I love it, but I always assumed that was made up.
Right.
Which it is.
Okay.
Chewie.
Is the droid detector going off?
Yep.
There's that classic point.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to do that.
I love Zutton here, or is this?
Yep.
Because there's two
Zutton.
different ones, right?
Or it might be Tequil. I think that might be Zutton, though. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. That's,
this is the actual
photo.
There's a few Snivians. Yeah.
Do you have this Trandoshan in 3 and 3/4?
Yeah, that's not a Trandoshan. It's a...
I'm a fake fan.
Oh
Don't
God.
clip that. Don't clip that.
It's a Saurin or a Saurin.
Yeah, I think I've been corrected on that
They look
before.
like Trandoshans, but they're different. There's 2 of them there. Look, there's one to the left of Nabran as well. Oh God, you're testing me now. It's one of my favourite figures from the Legacy collection as well. I can't remember his name now.
So you were right, Nate. They have a straight up shot.
Yeah,
they have a static shot.
That's why I've always thought it was weird that they never got figures.
Yeah, and when they're doing the deal with Han and Chewie and whatever, they're in the background at the bar as well. The Tonicas.
Yep. There was the Bossk spaceman.
Yeah.
I love it. Just pulls on his shirt.
His first time in the bar, and he's like, whatever.
Just imagine doing that in a bar in real life. Just going up to the bartender and
I love this guy laughing.
Yank on their shirt.
The audio's not playing, but I can just hear all the different like sound effects.
Right. I mean, if the audio was playing, we'd be cooked.
Oh yeah.
This is the theatrical,
so maybe not.
Those guys there, I wish they could have done one of them as well, because we do have him. I've got him here. Look, we do have him, but he's very basic.
Yep.
Power of the Jedi line, 2001, I think it was. So we do have him, but
there's Lack.
Yeah,
that's Lack. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the shot. Yeah, that's it there. Yeah. So a second ago it would have had, or if you carry on playing it, yeah, that thing there. You can get that figure as well.
Oh man, I love that.
In a 2-pack with Trinto Dubois. That's that guy in the center there.
Mm.
That's the figure you get. That dice thing.
That's creepy.
Yeah,
dude. MoMA. That's our boy right there. Support MoMA. Pre-order MoMA. I want more. Please don't let him shelf rot. Well, he's not. He's fan channel, but
yeah,
buy him. $33. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. For a Cantina alien, if that's what they have to do, screw it. Oh, our precious Ponda Baba. And Dr. Evazan.
Yeah, somebody asked in the comments earlier, why are we not getting those two? And because we already do have them in the vintage collection, we've got them on card backs. They are ones that would need reissuing for sure. But I've said this, and loads of people agree. The Ponda Baba that we have, the head isn't big enough, and they need to do like basically what they've done for the Black series. He's got quite a big head, so they need to update that. If they're going to reissue it, I think they should update the head. There's those guys,
I just love that costume with the red. And I got his bloody hand. Which the 3 3/4 inch TVC version, that has the hand that comes off, right? Or the arm.
Yep.
Severed arm.
We didn't get that with ours.
No, of course not.
Of course not. I always loved that shot of the guy just going back to smoking his.
Yep, you can get him as well. He was out in the trilogy collection from like 2004, something like that. 2003.
It's going to be a fun set. I will say that for sure. Like, I just can't wait to see everyone's toy photography.
Yeah. Well, this is it, isn't it?
Awesome.
We call ourselves toy collectors or whatever in the toy community, but you know as well as I do, the TVC and the Black series is aimed at adult collectors. This is an expensive diorama. It's not a toy. It's there for setting your figures up, dioramas, photography.
And
I
mean, especially a deep cut like this with all these Cantina aliens for sure. And then now let's take a look at. I'll probably have to refresh this. Yeah, it had 10 more from the last time I refreshed it. Currently, we're sitting at 3,795 backers out of 8,000, and it just went up. Was it Friday or yesterday?
Friday.
Yeah, Friday. So 2 days ago. Do you guys think this will fund, which it will, but do you think it will hit all tiers?
I don't know. This is a pretty niche product for a number of reasons. One, it's a play set, not a vehicle. People like vehicles. 2, it's from a specific scene. 3, it's from the original trilogy, which is now over 40 years old. And as you say, you know, there's a lot of people that care about clones and troopers and Jedis, and you know, this is all pretty deep cut stuff. So I would be happy. Well, I wouldn't be happy because I want it to go to 17,000 because I want Wolfman, but I want it to I just want it to fund first and foremost. And I think once it does fund, then people jump on because they're like, right, now it's funded. So now I want a piece of it, you know, and then you just see how far you can take it. I remember the Ghost was struggling for 17,000. And then in the last sort of 24 hours, it went to like 22,000, I think it was. There's another 5,000 that came on board. So
yeah,
you never really can tell, but I'm not going to lie. I think it is a bit of a slow start. So we'll have to just wait and see how we go. And there's less days to back this as well. There's usually 45 days. This one was 31, I think it was.
Because they don't want to overlap with like the G.I. Joe one, I guess. Even though they had no issue doing that during the Rancor, they had absolutely zero issue overlapping with other Haslabs.
3 Haslabs at once.
But of course, TVC getting its special treatment, right, Nate?
Yeah, that's right. Always getting the good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna blast off at the end. I feel like these always blast off at the end. Yeah. Which, like, it doesn't charge until it ships, so I don't really get why people do that, or it doesn't charge until the campaign ends, my bad.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why people wait, but...
Yeah, the very nature of a crowdfund is that it builds momentum, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. So if people can see it flying, then they want a piece of it, you know, and then it, you know, if everybody waits until the last minute, then you're like, well, this is not doing well, so why would I want to back this? So it's best to, you know, if it is something that you want and you do have the funds for it, it is best to back it early. You're not going to get charged till the end. And that helps push it forward for the people, you know, for everyone that wants it.
Yep.
Is this the first? Because what the other ones were for TVC specific, it was the Barge, Razor Crest, and Ghost, right? So this is the 4th.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the first one that's not a vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the first diorama Haslab for Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out. Now, Nate, do you feel any different from 1 hour and 40 minutes ago before we started the stream? Do you feel any different?
I mean, I'm feeling like it makes a lot of sense to get it, but I still am ultimately just on the fence about it. I'm still just hung up on the price, especially with such a short time to back it. You know, not that I could do it. You know, I could do it, but feel like I don't know. I'm still conflicted. I'm leaning towards it's a stronger maybe at this point. It's a stronger maybe at this point because I do have a lot of the Cantina aliens already, whether they're from Saga Collection, Power of the Force, Power of the Jedi. My biggest issue outside of the price would be I don't know where I would put this. As you know, Justin, space in my collecting area is extremely limited, taken up by all of the many, many, many things that I already collect.
That's true, but you have an entire basement. I feel like there's so much potential with your basement. It's a very large at least in my opinion. I look at it as like a very large basement.
I mean, it is a larger basement. I would say.
But you also have the Jabba's throne room TVC set, and it's spoilers for everyone. It's still in the box.
Oh no!
But
I mean, I have the room for it. My logic is like your logic with your SH Figure Arts Luke, where I just need a moment to open it and really enjoy it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, it's great. It is. I love that thing. When you've got all the figures in it, it looks great.
Yeah, I know that once I feel like if I open the Jabba's, because I was actually thinking, I was like, ooh, maybe after the stream I have my little Jabba's Palace moment to kind of satiate the need for the Cantina. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a strong maybe. It's definitely a strong maybe for me.
Yeah. So where I stand is, obviously I'm not getting it because I'm not a vintage collector, but I can experience things through Nate, so I kind of want Nate to get it so I can at least experience it. Because we don't have, like, collector friends, Nate.
Right.
Like, in our area. Like, there's no... It's not like, oh, we can go to a buddy's house and see it. Like, it's just you and I for our friend group. So... If Nate doesn't get it, I can't experience it.
Many people are like that, though, I feel, and that's why the community is so great.
Yeah.
You know, you talk to people that you don't even know, but you all share the same hobby, and that's why it's great, because, you know, your friends that you've got in real life, as it were, may not be into this sort of thing, but then you can, you know, jump on a live stream and just talk about being a nerd.
Mm-hmm. Right. And yeah, I mean, we have 1,300 people in our Discord, got all our subscribers, and, like, you know, all the guests that we've been able to get from all around the world. Now you included, because is this our first, somehow, some way, our first guest from the UK? Or am I, like, absolutely tripping right now? Because we've had Canada, we've had Croatia. We've had
Salacious Rum on in the past.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, wow.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, Salacious Rum. Wow.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting one.
Yeah,
he's a good guy. I've met him in person. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But he actually walks around with the thing on his shoulder, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's up, GamerZone? Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. Yeah, and we've been hovering around 350 for this entire stream, pretty much. Yeah. So that's awesome. But
I like Wilbon. I'll back it if Zooboy gives me his credit card information.
Yeah, let's do it. People are just begging Nate to back it. I don't know. I think we need a few more super chats before we back it.
Yeah, right. Let's do 5 $100 super chats, and I'll back it. I mean, YouTube takes 30%, so that's not.
It would be 70 times 5 and then divided by 2. So,
and I'll cover the rest.
Yeah.
Tim, I did want to ask you: did you back the Ghost?
Yes.
Okay, because I did as well. I backed the Ghost. I'm a huge Rebels fan. And I thought that was an incredible set. Although for me personally, I will not be opening those figures simply because they've already pretty much announced and shown off the other Rebels TVC figures.
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing, because although you're not getting the actual series specific ones, you're getting versions of them, and it's good enough for me. Yep. I don't really want to have to open those card backs particularly. You know, I've got the new Zeb, incredible figure. I don't need the Series 1 version of Zeb. He's very slightly different. You know, I don't need to do that now. From a review point of view, you know, some people might be disappointed in that.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, that's the thing. Like, I will buy everything to the vintage collection because I run a channel. It is a little bit different for me, you know. I do, you know, because I want to sort of have a look at it and give my thoughts of it. But I'm also a huge fan and collector of 3 3/4 inch, and I want to support the line, and I want Hasbro to invest more in it and give us better stuff. So even if I didn't have the channel, I would have backed the Ghost anyway.
Yeah,
it looks amazing.
Right, it does.
Amazing.
So you're keeping all the Ghost figures on card too?
I think I am, yeah.
Okay, cool. That makes me feel a little bit better, because when I said that, like, the chat was going crazy. Like, what are you doing? Like, why wouldn't you open them? And I'm like, well, they've already shown off that they're giving us the other looks of the characters, and I'd rather open the one that's $18 versus open the ones that are going to be have an untold value at this point. Oh,
so I've recently just got this one to review on the channel this week, and
that looks beautiful.
The one that comes with the ghost has like the mask where he's blind and stuff, so it is a bit, but when you're thinking about the cost of things, this will do for my collection. I do not need to open those carded figures. They're going to stay carded.
100%. Well, good. That makes me feel a little bit better. But I do feel like, though, for the Cantina, Woo Her, and the Tonica sisters, if I do decide to back it, those will be getting ripped open. However, I will probably keep the 3 Greedo and the other 2 on card simply because of their tricky language with saying that the card backs are exclusive. So I think that fully guarantees that if those do hit the stretch goals, they will have regular, they'll probably do a pack like the Jabba's Denizens.
Yeah. They're going to want to get their money back on like that Ariel Shoosh is all new tooling.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to want to do a one and done. They're going to want to get him out again somehow. And because they haven't promised that he is exclusive to the set, they will do at some point.
Yep. And then
not too sure how long you'll have to wait, but I think it's probably worth waiting.
Oh yeah. And then I won't feel bad about ripping those open, because that'll be like I think the Denizens were like it was like a $70 pack or something like that. I don't feel bad about ripping those figures apart. And I know I could do something like this LMC, but I don't know. I'm not
It's still ruining the card. It's still ruining the packaging.
Right. And
I've never understood that myself.
And it's like, I do understand that, but at the same time, I'm not going to peg an empty card onto my wall. And so even if I did cut them out with the scalpel, I would just end up putting those card backs into storage. And again, that kind of defeats the purpose of having them, at least in my opinion. If that's something that you want to do, that's totally cool.
No, some people do that, keep the card back, but it's they're not mint on card, then, are they?
No, and I think that's as someone like me, like I do have a large portion. Like I have all my clone troopers and stuff, the vintage collection figures. I keep those on card simply because I just think they look great as is. That's a great presentation. But for something like that I would want to put on display, like I'm going to open it and I'm just going to toss the card back away, because I have bins and bins and bins underneath my house filled with empty boxes.
Yeah.
And now at this point in my life, I've started to just take those boxes out and throw them away, because I realize I'm not going to sell my Black Series figures. I'm not going to sell my vintage collection figures. So I don't need the box. I'm not going to get rid of them. And especially for Black Series, we could face the facts that they don't really have any value. Not like a value where it's worth holding on to the box. Like the box, selling it with the box versus selling it without the box, the price is not that different. So
and as I said last night, the Tonica sisters will still be worth, if it's value that you're thinking like, in 10 years time, I won't be interested in this, and I want the space in my house and I want to sell, I'll sell it. Those Tonica sisters loose, they're going to be worth a lot of money anyway.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you could look at figures like Hermiodal or Efontmon. They're expensive, loose or carded. Either way, you're paying for them. You're not getting a significant deal finding them loose, unless you're at a garage sale or something and someone doesn't know what they have.
Yeah.
But
Efontmon, they're never going to make him again. I can pretty much guarantee that.
100%. And thankfully they made him at a time where he looks incredible and has a great sculpt, great paint apps, articulated jaw. You get everything you need out of it. So I know we've pretty much already confirmed that, yes, you have backed the Cantina at this point. Did you go 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, so I've gone 1 deluxe,
and
then I'm going to get one of the base offering, because awesome. I am a carded collector as well. So and I will be selling the Cantina that you get as the base offering to somebody that doesn't care about the figures, that just wants the Cantina. Because that's what I mean. Everyone collects differently. There will be somebody out there that wants that, and they won't have to pay for as much for it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't come with the figures. And then I'll be happy because I've got my carded figures. But ultimately, I'm a loose collector first. So if I could only afford one and I didn't plan to do that with the other one, then I would still be opening those figures 100%, because that is what I want that Cantina for. I want to make a nice display, because down there I've got, as I say, about 15 to 20 figures for the Cantina, and they're literally just standing there next to each other doing nothing.
Yep.
So they need that environment.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
So back it, Nate. Back it.
Zoo Boy is asking, did you back 2 ghosts?
No.
Yep.
Because I knew I wasn't going to wait. I knew I wasn't going to open the figures.
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to a vehicle, like personally, I'm going to display the ghost completely closed, as if it is a vehicle.
Yeah.
So I'm not really interested in having I'm not going to have it on display with the top off where you can look inside and see the figures.
I'm planning on having it, standing there on its feet, and then like I've done previously with the Falcon, then you'll have some of the main characters underneath, but they will be these ones.
Yeah.
not the ultra expensive ones that come with the ghost itself.
Yeah, exactly. No, Llama, I did not back the Haslab yet.
Just watch. Just listen. just watch the stream.
That's what we're talking about.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I like Wizzy's idea. Justin, help me out.
Split it with help your bro out. Yeah. I'm just going to pay for half of it.
You'll get to see it in person every single Tuesday.
I'm going to pay $250 for the privilege of looking at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it.
Have you not got like a slightly rare Black Series figure that Justin doesn't have that you can sort of tempt him with to help you out with it, sell it or
we're
something?
basically even.
Yeah, I think the only, for a while I had the Shadow Squadron set.
Yeah, but then I ended up getting
then you bought it, so that was like the only thing I had on you for a while. Otherwise we're pretty even.
It's modular, you could each take half of it. That's what we do, is get the deluxe. But then who takes the front?
We'll have to do joint custody of the figures too. Like 1 week you'll have the Tonica sisters, and then the next week you'll bring them back. So
get an admittance fee for Nate for Justin. Every time he wants to see it, he has to pay admission. Yeah, it's like a museum.
Yeah, that's what I've been joking with Zoo Boy about, doing the going halvesies on the Cantina set and then having joint custody of the figures, just mailing them back and forth to each other. Like, it's my weekend for the Tonica sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
That was our TVC takeover. We're still going to do recent pickups, and we'll talk a little bit about the Acolyte. I was going to ask you, Tim, are you on any sort of time crunch or?
No. I'm fine. It's 9 o'clock here, so I'm cool.
All right.
Not bad.
So we will move on over to recent pickup, unless you guys had any final thoughts on the Haslab.
Well, just everybody in the chat back it.
Yeah. I would share the same sentiment. Is if you want this, like we always say with every Haslab, back it now. It's not going to be cheaper at any point in time going further. This is proven time and time again. So if you really want it, you should definitely back it. And I think, I don't know. Maybe I will.
Yep. And to LMC, there was a bit of Black Series news, and that was just that Plo Koon and the original Cal Kestis are going to go up on Wednesday. Fan channels, join that Discord, and you won't miss out.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, let's do a little plug. Put that in there.
Plug it.
All right. So it is now time. We're gonna put in the coordinates for Jabba's palace. We're gonna blast off here, punch it,
and do some recent pickups.
Where is it? Where's the video?
I was like, "What? Come on, Justin, play the logo."
There we go.
Like, so did you just have just enough of that music that you're not going to get a strike? Right.
So I have a theory, and I do not think the original theatrical Max Rebo tracks are copywritten because they're not on the official soundtrack. So I don't think the algorithm detects it because we have the recital for the outro of the streams. We have Galactic Dance Blast, which is what we just heard. And then on our series Bangers and Blunders, it's Rebo in the Palace, I think, or some other track. And we've never got a copyright strike. Yep. We have not done Lopty Neck. We have to incorporate Lopty Neck into some show bit or something. That's the dream, is we want to somehow include every Max Rebo track in the channel.
Right.
Including Ooh, E, Tay.
No, not Jedi Rocks. Not Jedi Rocks. We can keep that out.
On that note, reported.
Yeah. Don't do it. All right. So
no, we're talking about the reissues. So the Black Series Plo Koon is going up on Wednesday. That is a reissue of the 2019 figure.
Right. 2019.
But Ki-Adi-Mundi is also in the Black Series, so yes.
They both exist.
Yeah, I mean, they both exist. Who would like to go first for recents?
I say we have our guest. Tim, go first.
All right, guest of honor.
Okay, well, one of them was so it's this whole wave, basically, it's a wave of 4. I've got to thank my buddy Brad in the States because EE Entertainment Earth shipped on these, and he bought a case, and you got 2 of each. So he was kind enough to let me buy 4 off of him for review purposes because I've got no idea when they're out here. So that's Kanan. Awesome figure.
Looks great.
Second one in that wave is Ezra. So that's the Ahsoka Ezra.
Yeah.
We still need season 1 Ezra. That's the problem with the Ghost figures are season 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And then this is season 1.
Yep.
But then we don't get the matching Ezra. Balance the scales, Hasbro.
I was going to say, Nate, let's go grab our season 1 Ezras and show them to Tim.
Yeah.
Let's also get our Bad Batch figures and show them to Tim.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I had to do one.
The third figure in that wave is Cal Kestis in his Imperial disguise.
Nice.
From Jedi Survivor.
That's a cool one.
So there's that. And then the fourth figure, I believe you guys have got this guy pipelined. It's the Mandalorian Judge.
Oh, the Judge looks so good.
Yeah, we thought we were going to get that one, but there has been no official announcement for that one.
Oh, is there not? Has there not been a pipeline for the Judge?
No.
Oh, right.
We've been getting some random Mandalorians, but they're more so like we just got the Shriek Hawk ones the other day.
Like some real background. Not the Judge.
We do want the Judge.
Yeah, we need the Judge for sure.
He's cool and everything. Not everybody, but I think a lot of people are feeling a little bit Mandalorianed out at this point in time because we have had a lot of them this year. A lot of repaints, and things like that. Not too much new going on. But this one's a pretty cool one. He looks, it's some good color scheme on him.
Yeah.
Love the orange. Just
I like that cape. Is that the cape tucked in back there?
Yeah, the cape's tucked in behind the figure. Okay. Yeah, but it's one of those shoulder efforts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna look great on display.
So I'm going to be reviewing all 4 of those probably this week at some point if I have time to do them all. So that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that's about it. And I also let me just get Zeb quick.
Oh yeah, I want to see that Zeb. Zeb's sitting in my pile of loot, so I haven't got it.
So man. I was absolutely astounded by how good this figure is. Like,
I'll say something crazy. Better than the Black Series version.
It could possibly, yeah. That does happen. Like if we wait, because we do have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
A great example of that is IG-11.
Yeah.
IG-11 repaint of IG-88. IG-88, right?
Yep.
Whereas we, got a all new, brand new one, but we had to wait nearly 3 years for it, so 2 years. Really good. Very, very happy with that. And it's going to go with all the other ones, which is good. That's about it, I think.
All right.
Layer of the Jedi Master Soul, but I had to give those back to Hasbro because they. I went to MCM Comic Con in London and sort of helped out with In Demand Toys, which is one of our independent retailers, and they were kind enough. So I kind of opened them while we were there, when everyone was sort of around, which was good. And then they kindly let me take those 2 to review them. I had to send them back straight away.
That's awesome, though. That Leia looks incredible. I have her on pre-order. That was a must.
She's great.
They made good. They made the right call doing the sculpted plastic. She looks awesome. That's cool though. They actually let you take them and do a review on them.
Did someone say I'm breaking up?
You were for a little bit, but I think you're back now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, but
yeah. There you go. That's me.
All right. I've just got a couple things here. Nothing crazy. I recently, like everyone knows, I just got into 3D printing. So I printed the Tantive 4 diorama from Landspeeder Luke. And I realized, I needed some more Rebel Fleet troopers. So I picked up another Rebel Fleet trooper off of eBay. But nice. I think I'm going to just do... Because it's a pretty easy I'm just going to paint this and turn him into Captain Antilles. Just do a little bit of a repaint. So it should be fairly easy to do. It's just pretty much changing the color scheme of the costume, really. Just to kind of spice up that display. Since I have so many, stormtroopers and Vader, and Leia, and R2 and C-3PO. But, I wanted another Rebel Fleet. So picked this up. Got it for a good price from someone who was willing to make a deal.
That's what TVC did as well. As they repainted they gave us a 4-pack of 3 of those and then 1 Captain Antilles, and they just repainted that one. It's not 100% screen accurate, but it'll do.
Yeah, it's close enough. And while I'm not a master painter or anything like that, I'm like, I could change this outfit to brown and it'll be good, And I just got her today, just literally right before the stream started, but I finally picked up Morgan Elsbeth, who is a great example of the things that are wrong in the Black Series. As you can see, 0 accessories here with her.
That's like unforgivable, in my opinion.
So I wanted to wait until she was on sale, and she recently went down to $13. And I figured that's a pretty appropriate price for what we get here with her. And
ours was the same. Didn't have any accessories.
Yeah, just total.
That's right.
Total joke to not include anything. I mean, especially they could have thrown us a bone, given her a Mandalorian, given her the Beskar spear, something. But to include nothing and still charge full price, I just couldn't do it. So picked up her on the discount. And then Justin, you sold this to me. This is a NECA figure. That's right. And this is the Aliens, Ripley, and Newt 2-pack.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a big NECA collector. So is Justin. But you bought this years ago and you never opened it, never put it on display.
It has just been in a bin. It was in my my mom's attic for the longest time, and then when I moved out, and it's just one of those that I kept in a bin. I'm like, I've been going through a bit of a purge lately where I'm just like, this is serving no purpose. Like, the stuff in bins is just serving no purpose. So even though it's cool, I love Aliens, I love Ripley, I like Newt, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do me any good sitting in a bin. So I've been going on a big selling spree. If you guys are in the Discord, and selling a lot of just stuff I don't need, especially getting into 3D printing. Like, I just want to free up more space for more stuff like that.
Yep. And you hit me up to sell it to me, and I remember being very jealous of you having it for a long time. So I was like, how fortuitous. I will definitely buy this off of you. And I'll put her right next to my other Ripleys, because I have Ripley from Alien, and I have Ripley from Alien 3, and I have Resurrection Ripley too. So she was the only one I was missing, was a representation of Aliens. So I'm happy to have that. I appreciate you selling it to me.
Of course.
And that's all I got. Those are my recent picks.
Nice. Mine is going to be short as well. Oh, yeah. For Nate, it's just whatever price he throws out. I didn't even look up the value. I don't care about value. I don't care about trying to make some huge amount of money. If it's going to a friend, it's just like whatever they're comfortable paying. And another reason I've been selling a lot of stuff is last week I picked up the Bamboo P1P and like 8 things of filament. Yeah. So that actually has to do with my first thing. The first print I did is the hollow table. So interesting. This was my final print on the Ender 3 V2. Was the base for it. So the top piece wouldn't fit on the Ender 3 bed, so I just knew this was going to be the first thing that I do. I'll have to have Nate show me how to paint.
What's that from? Is that from Home 1? Is it like where the Death Star
So
pops
this
up in
is
the middle?
for the Black Series Holocom collection. So like Landspeeder Luke, it was me and Zach kind of came up with this idea to put, because have you seen those Holocom figures?
Yeah, they got lights in the bottom, right?
He designed this table, like sort of an Imperial-esque table, so you can insert the puck, and then my idea was to have the Vader here, so like the blue light up Vader, and then a bunch of like Imperial officers surrounding the table, like as if Vader is giving a meeting.
Oh, cool, right, yeah.
And there's where is it? There's a button I had to print the button so you can like stick that in there and activate the button when the puck is in there.
Do you know if it's specifically based on anything from the actual movie or just kind of a generic table?
Yeah, I think he made this up, if I had to guess. I don't think he based it off of anything specific. I just think it's like a Star Wars-y space militaristic sort of table that a Holocom would be on. And I just thought it was such a cool idea, because we are hard-pressed for world building, we're hard-pressed for diorama pieces and building out scenes. I kind of want to do less of this, because this is like every Black Series collector, right?
Yeah.
I think with getting into 3D printing, I'm shifting away from everyone standing in a line.
Collecting the wrong scale.
We're converting, guys. This is the end of the Black Series.
That was all it took was one stream with Bossk's bounty. No,
well, you're printing all these accessories and things, and
that
eventually the space is going to be like, whoa.
Yeah, that is the main. Well, I've also been getting rid of some Black Series. Like I got rid of all my sequel trilogy stuff, and I've even been thinking about going OT, PT, Clone Wars, and Rebels only, and getting rid of everything Disney. Not that I think it's all bad, but I just, when I look on the shelf, I'm just like, especially recently when we got the Droidica in the Black Series and the Super Battle Droid, I'm like, man, that is the stuff I want. I really want, and we're getting Insidious and Ki-Adi-Mundi. I'm like, this is the stuff I want out of the line. So, like, all this other Disney-esque stuff, even though I love Mando 1 and 2, you know, I'm just not feeling it for figures anymore. I always say this, Tim, that Black Series fans and TVC fans have the opposite problem. TVC fans are begging for new media representation, like Bad Batch, you know, the Andor figures, Kenobi, like Black Series, like we had 15 Kenobi figures or whatever, and TVC didn't get as many. And then we're begging for like the Cantina aliens and like the background fodder. So like we have opposite issues.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like Black Series fans need to collect TVC and TVC fans need to collect Black Series.
Or Hasbro need to service their audience better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think when it comes to TVC and new media, my biggest gripe is I can wait for stuff, but I just have to know it's coming. It's like I always bring this up. I talked about it again in my video today. Hunter, we've got Hunter. That is it for the Bad Batch, and there's no sign of when the others are coming. And this is what I was talking about. So we get a really, really good Hunter, but when do I have to wait? What is it? 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? How long do we need to wait? I've still got the Rogue One team, and I'm missing Bodhi and Baze. How long do I need to wait to complete that scene?
Yeah,
like,
and we
forever,
thought we had to wait a long time in Black Series for the.
Yeah, so that's my issue with it. I'm not against new media stuff coming out. I just want them to, if they're gonna do it properly, you know, but not to the detriment of all the other fans that want the PT and that's the problem that they've got. But so many people want lots of different things. It isn't an impossible job for them.
I did want to say, since you showed off some 3D prints, my 3D print this week that I did is the made up
the stage.
The stage.
Take that, Haslab, Cantina.
Yeah, that's right.
Got the band stage. Look at that.
I did it with the print ironing too, so it looks real clean and no significant print lines on it. Had my first little 3D printing disaster with this, because I found out that you can't really do the ironing mode with lightning infill. You pretty much have to do grid or something a little bit more stable.
Yeah, it looks good now.
Otherwise, it kind of makes it look really shitty. So this turned out nice, although so much fill. These things are solid. Like, I had to use the grid option, which is like super sturdy, super solid, and they turned out great though.
Well, now it'll be good forever, you know.
Yeah.
Like with my band stage, I did lightning, and it's like it's kind of bubbly, like you can like push it in and it pops out. So you definitely made the right call doing a sturdier infill.
Yeah.
Is it possible to print both like bits together without having the split? Is it just because the thing's not big enough?
Yeah, you can print it in one print, but the printer we have is not large enough to do so. So you kind of have to print it in half, which is another kind of downfall of being a Black Series collector. Even when you have a 3D printer to print these things out, most of the time they're massive, so you have to break up the print. Like I recently printed the Emperor's window, and to do a full scale Black Series representation, I had to print it in 4 different pieces because the printer I have is not big enough to print it all as one solid piece. So it just goes to show you could even get a 3D printer and you still have to print stuff in separate pieces and glue them together, and hopefully you don't mess it up when you're gluing them together. So but that's all I printed this week. I just wanted to show that real quick.
Nice. And then we have a PO box pickup.
Ooh, yeah.
So if you guys ever want to send us anything, here it is on the screen. PO Box 1302, Portage, Indiana 46368. You can just put OOTB. So the lady handed me this bubble mailer, and I was like, what could this be? Like, what could be in a bubble mailer? And I could tell it wasn't a figure. Like, I was feeling it. I was like, what is this? Like, and then I opened it, and it was a frame.
Ooh. Yeah, this is so cool.
It is. It really is.
This is from Tangy Fungus.
Yep. Let me... Sheesh. So, there was a letter in here. And they say, this is just a mild thank you for the impromptu shout out for my figure photography page, their Instagram page, on the May the 4th live stream because we did our members stream. Love the content. Hope you boys enjoy. I got almost 50 new followers that day. Thank you. May the force be with you. Tangy Fungus and their Instagram, Rebel Scum Photography. And we have a little mock-up of the band here.
Puppet Sigh.
But the framed photo is amazing. So this is our channel logo. And on our channel art, we have this, like, it's cartoon versions of us with, like, a Max Rebo battalion. Mm-hmm. The thought behind that being, like, how the clones did it for Ahsoka. This is kind of like our out of the basement, like, tribute to Max Rebo, the Max Rebo Legion. And this thing is sick.
Yeah.
Obviously drawn, expertly colored by Tangy Fungus. And because I was over at Justin's house last night and I was like, oh, we got a P.O. box pickup. Like, cool. Yep. And so I looked at it and I was just like, oh man, like this is incredible.
Oh yeah. So definitely amazing. Thank you so much for this. This is going to look great.
Yep. It's going to go right here. So these Max Rebo comics are going to have to move.
Yeah. Eventually we're going to redesign the whole Figure It Out set. And
for sure.
It's going to be Max Rebo overload. I mean, it already is, but
right. Got a few things here and there. Yeah.
I forgot the most important recent pickup of all time to completely waste everybody's time. We have the Sour Patch Oreo.
Oh my God.
Just the most odd thing.
They were
my son. He loves Oreos and he loves Sour Patch, and I would like those as well. Yeah. This is another thing that you Americans have much better of. I mean, we have better chocolate.
Welcome to America.
But man, you have all these amazing things like that.
Welcome to America, brother. We got Sour Patch Oreos.
Yeah.
The stereotypes are true. Just every stereotype you've ever heard is true.
The crazy thing about these is I kind of really liked them. The first one I ate, I was like, I don't know about all that.
So they have these like bits in them. Little color bits, and then the cream also has these like little Sour Patch bits.
Oh,
yeah,
and it really does smell and taste like Sour Patch.
Yeah, it's like the first one I ate, I was like, I don't know about this, and then I ate another one, and I was like, okay, and then I ate another one, and I was like, all right, I think I kind of like these. They taste and smell kind of like the cotton candy Blizzard from Dairy Queen, if anyone out there has had that. But they have like a little bit of a sour tinge at the end.
Yeah, kind of tangy and just...
Somebody send me a food package.
I say the same thing. Like, some of our moderators are in like one of them is in Norway, and I'm like, bro, send me some like Norwegian candy.
Yeah.
When I went to ICCC in Nashville, I said to John, who I was staying with, action figure grader, I said, can we please go to Walmart or somewhere because I need to pick up some, like, we call them sweets, but candy.
Yeah.
You know, and I just, I had baskets full of it to take home.
They're looking at your suitcase when you're at the airport and it's just filled with candy, and they're like, yeah, okay.
All the different M&Ms you have all these different M&Ms, man. It's like,
it's
we
insane.
don't, we've got peanut M&Ms ones. Yeah. We have about 3 different ones, but you have these, it's crazy. I love the mint. Do they still do mint M&Ms? They're like the best thing ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They, They want us to have diabetes here. They want us to have it.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Like, on the grand scheme of things, it's a detriment. There's all sorts of chemicals and shit in there that gets you addicted to it. And like the regulations in the US versus the European regulations for food, absolute insanity.
Yeah.
It's poison, but I still eat it.
It tastes good.
Because it's a Sour Patch Oreo. I'm sorry.
It's poison that tastes good, so why not?
And just augment that with exercise and just be born with a metabolism like I do.
Yeah, I was going to say, Justin and I rely on the metabolism part of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Because I sit in an office all day.
And Seth Nico's put, meanwhile, in the UK, the shrinking dairy milk bars. That's right. All of our chocolate bars over the years have just got smaller and smaller and smaller. You get less for the same amount of money or more money, you know. And then you go to America and everything's bigger and more sugar.
Yeah.
Have your daily caloric intake in one candy bar, and you're like, this is fine.
Yeah. I remember I said, I have to get Captain Crunch cereal. I need this Captain Crunch. And literally, I just had a sugar crash after eating it. And like the side of the bowl was just like this rim of sugar. I was like, no. Oh my God. People are eating this in the morning. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it gets you hyped for about 45 minutes, and then you feel like shit for the rest of the day.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for the Star Wars Oreos.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know what that red and blue tastes like.
Oh, I think another one. I think they're just regular flavored Oreos, but I think the draw is there's like 30 different characters you can get on the Oreos.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
You can get a General Grievous Oreo.
I kind of like, because we did our blue milk review on Lazy Sunday, maybe we should incorporate that. Like, I kind of like just one little food item a week. Let's start doing that.
I mean, I love eating the random, like, every time there's a new Oreo flavor, I'm like, I gotta get it. I'm like, I gotta try these. Like, no matter how diabolical, like, I think the Sour Patch Kids is probably the most diabolical flavor combination that they've gone with. So, and then I end up liking all of them too. So I'm like, what's wrong with me? Because I'm like fully expecting to be like, these are disgusting. But then I eat them and I'm like, actually, this is pretty good. I like it. It's pretty good.
Hey, Nate is going to be 31 this year.
That's true. That's true. I thought
this month.
Yeah, at the end of the month, I'll be 31. So I've made it through my first year of my 30s, and the metabolism is still kicking. But I hear 32 is where it starts to, you start to get a little rocky. So we'll see. We'll see.
Don't go to the doctors and get a blood test. You won't want to hear the results. No.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that. I'm like, I don't need to hear it. My ears are firmly plugged on all that. So, real quick, Lightning McQueen, Tim, can you show your shirt one more time?
So, this was at Star Wars Celebration. I'm friends with a guy who's the bassist in the band Ash. You've probably heard a few of their tracks. And they did like a mini concert called the Cantina afterwards.
Ooh,
and
nice.
They were selling these t-shirts. It's got like the some stuff on the back like as well. But yeah, that's what that is. So,
nice. Kind of cool. Like a Nirvana combination.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool.
All right. Well, the only thing left for us to do on the docket today is discuss the Acolyte. I'm scared, Nate. I'm scared of the chat for this.
The chat is about to go nuclear.
I'm a little frightened by the chat.
Yeah,
but
if our Discord is anything to go off of in terms of the Acolyte discussion,
yeah. I mean, it wasn't. There's like a few knuckleheads, but it's not the worst. It's just people jump to so many conclusions and
right. This will be spoilers for sure. I mean, there's no reason not to. So at this point in time, if you have not watched The Acolyte episode 1 and 2, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you. Or if you just don't care.
And that's fair.
You could also just not care, but we are going to not hold anything back. This is going to be a spoiler discussion about the first 2 episodes. So, yeah, if you are leaving, though, subscribe to Bossk's Bounty before you go.
Thank you.
Hit that subscribe. Watch those 5-year-old Black Series videos.
Yeah.
For the real OGs.
Yeah.
When Tim used to review some Black Series figures.
Yeah, I did.
Or just, watch the TVC content because it is amazing. And, best TVC channel, in my opinion, best TVC channel.
All right. It's the go-to.
On
it's
YouTube.
The go-to.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So definitely check out Tim's channel. But now we're going to talk about the Acolyte, which is the latest Star Wars live-action TV series. And, so real quick, we'll start. Tim, what are your thoughts on the Acolyte?
I think it's one of those ones where there's a lot of negativity for beforehand for months.
Yeah.
Therefore, my expectations were low.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I always take these things for what they are, face value. I don't sort of listen to all the noise around it, And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was all right. There's some things that I'm not sure about, there's a lot of Matrix stuff going on in there, slow-mo fights and stuff, and I'm not 100% sold on that. But I actually think the story is quite fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I think this, the writing this time has actually been okay. As I say, I don't listen to all the, the politics around who the actors are and all that kind of thing. I take it face value, and I thought it was okay. I'm not going to say it's the best thing I've ever watched, and nothing will ever compare to the original trilogy. It's just a fact for me.
Yep.
Because I was a kid when I watched the original trilogy, so nothing can give you that feeling. If you grew up with the prequel trilogy and you watched that as a kid, nothing is going to transport you back to those days. It just will never happen. You'll never get that feeling again. So yeah, I just I don't really know what to say, really. I thought it was okay.
Yeah. Justin?
So
Justin actually watched it, guys. Can you believe it?
Hey. Yeah, that for those of you that don't know Nate and myself, and you're here for Tim, I am the one where it's like I have been disappointed by a lot of new Star Wars, probably more so than Nate, I would say. And it's to the point where I even struggle to find the time to watch this stuff. I like the Bad Batch, but I have not finished Bad Batch season 3, and I'm starting to get apathy rather than negativity. I've definitely been on that road of just not caring, but I will say, I loved Mando 1 and 2, I loved Andor, so there have been Disney projects that I've enjoyed. Clone Wars season 7, love that. Ahsoka, I was okay with, for sure. I thought it was good. The ones I mostly am pretty passionate about disliking is Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, and then Mando season 3. So going into this, I was really I was totally expecting it to just be more corporate, polished, just forgettable. And my first impression, we only have our 2 episodes. I like that this story is unconnected to anything else going on right now, because these other shows, the Filoni-verse, if you will, it was starting to give me MCU vibes in the worst way possible, where everything had to connect and we had to do so many cameos and everything was so on the nose and remember this, remember that. So I like that this is standing on its own, and it's just nice. And like Tim was saying, it's kind of a breath of fresh air to just get something a little different, a different era. And I think that this show, the first 2 episodes, were a solid foundation for the show. And I am interested to see where things go. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I will continue to watch. but obviously I'm not blown away or anything like that. Like, it's nothing too crazy, nothing to write home about. But I enjoyed watching just late at night. I watched both episodes back to back. Both episodes are pretty short, I would say.
Yeah, they're fairly short.
And I think it's a solid foundation. I'm interested, but it didn't blow me away. But it still has time to where it could. How about you, Nate?
No, I mean, I definitely agree. I was hopeful for the show. I thought the previews were looking pretty good, nothing too crazy. And just like Tim, I generally do ignore all of the surrounding, talk about these shows because, I firmly believe it's really hard to judge something before you've even seen it. And even when you've just seen 2 episodes, it's hard to judge what the entire quality of the show is going to be. I liked the first 2 episodes. Like you said, Justin, I think they're a solid foundation. I like the toned down humor. That was kind of one thing I really appreciated, was it's not quite as jokey as we've seen like some of the more recent Star Wars stuff become. Not that Star Wars has always had humor in it, but it's like the MCU dad humor that's been injected into some of the recent projects that
exactly.
That like kind of really kills it for me, because I don't think jokes like that have a place in Star Wars. Like, it just takes me out of it, and it makes the writing feel like not science fiction-y. So I appreciated the toned down humor. I like most of the characters so far. I think Jedi Master Soul is probably like the shining example of the series so far. I really like his character. I do agree, Bossk, with what you were saying. The Matrix fighting is a little odd, especially when you have Carrie-Anne Moss, who was literally in the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's different. Not everyone is pulling out their lightsabers immediately, which is kind of strange, but also I kind of feel like I might enjoy that a little bit. That the Jedi aren't just instantly like, you got to show everyone the lightsaber at every single moment possible. I think the one thing that kind of threw me off was Carrie-Anne Moss dying immediately. With having such a big named actor.
Is she going to be in some flashbacks or something, do you think? Or
I think there's like trailer footage of her.
Because you could tell there's like in those scenes that we've seen in the trailer, like Master Soul has like a different, shorter haircut.
Yeah.
So I think it implies that we'll see some more of her in some flashbacks, but I just kind of thought, like, for having such a actor of her caliber in the show to be the first one to go, I was really kind of like, what the hell? Like, I kind of thought she was going to be the main Jedi, if I'm going to be completely honest. And who's to say if she's really dead or not, because literally no one dies in Star Wars anymore. People get shot in the chest, stabbed in the stomach, and they're just fine.
Well, I almost thought it was a little refreshing that she actually died.
But I mean, we don't know that for sure.
True, but
it's like a little knife to the heart in Star Wars. At this point in time, it's like I have a hard time even believing if she's
all of these
truly
other
dead.
shows having characters live, getting stabbed in the torso and brushing it off. I hope she just stays dead.
And I agree with you, simply for the stakes of the series. I hope that she does remain dead, but if it's revealed at the end of the season that she's still alive and it was all a ploy to capture this unnamed dark side force user, I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
But I agree with what Justin was saying, that I like the fact that this is from a different era, therefore it cannot affect anything else, really.
Yes.
That's one of my main criticisms about the Obi-Wan series. It's starting to retcon stuff, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Hey, Obi-Wan, you might not know me, like Princess Leia, like You served my father in this thing called the Clone Wars, and
you
you probably don't know who I am.
I honestly think as time goes on, Obi-Wan might be the worst Disney Plus series simply because it should have been such an easy slam dunk, and they fumbled it so hard.
Yeah, like young Luke. So Luke in A New Hope, he's like, oh yeah, Obi-Wan, is that guy? Yeah, he's a strange old hermit, blah 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 blah. He literally gave you a toy when you were 10 years old. Like,
right,
you're gonna remember that.
Like, you're not gonna forget that. I remember plenty of stuff from when I was 10 or younger. So it's like stuff like that has really started to bug me as time goes on. But
so it's good that this one is so far removed, 100 years, 200 years, whatever it is. Nothing can really sort of change anything that we know already.
Right, exactly. So I do like that. I like that it's removed because it also gives them a little bit more play. They don't have to stay so strict within the realm of like what Star Wars is supposed to be. So yeah, I liked it so far. I think I think these first 2 episodes were solid. I'm intrigued is what I should say.
I don't find any of the characters annoying. I know some people have been saying that about Yord, but I just think he's that archetype of the by the books character.
Yeah, he's supposed to be, the straight arrow. And they even kind of like use a little bit of comedic relief with him in the show. Like when in the second episode, he's coming up with this elaborate plan. And then the Padawan, she's just like, what if we just send Osha in there and have him talk to them? And then all the Jedi are like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So they're just kind of like, shut up, with your elaborate planning. So
I kind of also like that they're showing them as more human than the prequels. They seem like robots, like just emotionless, which I get that's the point of the Jedi, but like even like laundry. Like, is that the first laundry we've ever had in Star Wars? Like, I don't know. It just makes it seem a bit more human.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the next episode because, spoiler alert, the end of this last episode basically, said we've got to go and find the Wookiee.
Yes.
And he looks cool, So
that's one I'm like, please give us a figure. I want a Wookiee. I want a Wookiee Jedi on the shelf. I know it won't be from the right era, but I want that Wookiee Jedi.
Yeah. I do think both episodes kind of ended abruptly.
Yeah.
And I hate it when bad guys ignite their lightsabers for no reason. It's the same thing with Solo where Maul just randomly ignites his saber. I'm like, why are you doing that? You're just doing that for the audience. It just those moments there, those moments just feel kind of cheap to me when the bad guy always just has to ignite his lightsaber for no reason. So I thought both episodes kind of ended abruptly, but it doesn't really affect my enjoyment that much.
Yeah, and I think once we get all the episodes together and you could watch them in a row, that kind of abruptness won't really be as big of a factor because I'll just watch the next episode immediately. So, but yeah, I thought it was a solid start. I definitely thought it was solid.
Yep. Oh, hi, Mom. What's up? Got my mom in chat.
Mom in chat.
And at this point as well, it's like they're churning out so much. It almost doesn't really matter anymore if there's a miss. Like, I was a bit disappointed with season 3 of Mando, and that kind of, it's like, oh, what have you done to this? Maybe you should have just stopped where he gave the child away,
Right.
Sometimes it's better to, like some of the great comedies in this world, they're 2 seasons and then they finish,
Right.
Because the guy that's writing it knows that almost giving too much is sometimes a bad thing. You leave the audience wanting more, and that's it.
Yep.
So I know that if this isn't great, I've got Andor season 2 to look forward to, and Andor was amazing. So I can just sort of put all my energy into that and enjoy that.
Yep. Yeah, it's no. If this does turn out to be not great in the whole show, once it's out, if it's not great, it's like, okay, well, like you said, Andor season 2 right around the corner, and it's as far as I know, it's the same creative team, so it's probably going to be on par quality wise, and that's going to be awesome, you know.
And as always, nothing will take away what came before. So I think so many people jump to that, like, they ruined Star Wars, my childhood is over. It's everything is burning.
Well,
I'm like,
your childhood is over. You're an adult.
Well,
yeah,
true, but like even like, you know, the sequel trilogy.
No, I get it.
What am I thinking of? Oh, Emperor Palpatine coming back, and that kind of ruins Vader's redemption. I just don't think of those. Like when I watch, like Return of the Jedi, when Luke throws his lightsaber and says "never," like I'll never join you. That's like my Luke forever. Mm-hmm. Like nothing is gonna taint what came before. They can do anything. All right, he says never. I'll never join the dark side. By the way, before someone calls me out on that, that it's like that's my Luke. When I think like nothing that comes out is gonna diminish what came before. So no matter what, I'm always gonna have the OT, the PT. I'm always gonna have Clone Wars and Rebels and like the stuff that I do enjoy.
Right.
So no, you know, I watched both episodes. I was entertained. I'm intrigued. Nothing too amazing, but we shall see. Yep. We definitely shall see.
Yeah.
It is a little tiring to deal with just the insane political stuff associated with the show that everyone brings up and everyone wants to talk about, and everyone wants to jump to so many conclusions and go on their rants in the Discord, but it gets annoying, but what are you going to do?
Right.
What are you going to do?
Absolutely. So yeah, solid start. Nothing mind-blowing. Nothing nearly as bad as what, you know, a lot of people were making it out to seem like it was going to be. So, yeah. Now, Tim, are you, as far as figures go for the Acolyte, are you in on those for Vintage Collection?
So this is the thing. It's one of them. I'm going to wait until the end of it, and then if I really enjoyed it and I felt that it was a good piece of Star Wars material, then I'm going to want the figures from it. You know, if it's something that I'm not really invested in, then I just won't. That's just how it goes with me. Like, I wouldn't really care if they never brought out another sequel trilogy figure, because it's just not for me. Yeah. I'm happy for other people if they like it. And if they make a figure from it and that makes that person happy, then brilliant. But it's not something that I'm going to be actively sort of wanting, you know, because there's just so much other stuff that I would like them to do of the stuff that I do like. Then I think it's just a natural way to be, really. So I'm not going to say I do not want figures from the Acolyte because, you know, I'm going to wait until I see the whole thing. And then I'll decide.
Nice. What a calm and level-headed response, Tim. Come on. You're supposed to be angry.
I think it's just like, you know.
Yeah.
Andor is, for me, the best thing that they've made since Rogue One. It could be the best thing Disney have made.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I love Andor so much.
But that doesn't automatically make me want loads of figures from it, because it's not really toyetic, if that's a word, you know?
Right.
I can understand that. So, but there are some characters I definitely do want. Like, definitely Miro. We need a Luthen. You know, at least give us the main characters from it, so I can have some kind of presence on my shelf that represents that. You don't need to go all in like you do with Clone Wars or Mandalorian or whatever, but just something just to represent it would be good. because at the moment all we've got is Andor, Vel, and another Andor in disguise.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's all we've got. I think we don't even have his droid. You know, you have to get the droid from the droid factory line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
well, you could be a Black Series collector, Tim, and you could have the entire main and extended cast.
That's right.
You could get Bix Kayleen, who's in the show for about 4 minutes.
Mon Mothma, Luthen, the Imperial officers.
I mean, yeah, I loved Andor. I only have Andor and his droid, and I have Luthen, and I feel like I'm like. I have the officers and the troopers and stuff like that, but that's different. You know, that's like, I just put them all with the Imperial Army that I have on display. And then I'm like, oh, they're just members of the Imperial Army. So yeah, but I think that's about all we've got for you guys on this stream here.
Yep.
There's a guy in the chat that's asking a few times if I like wine gums from when we were talking about sweets. Yes, I do. I do like wine gums. What are they?
Yes, what is that?
So they're like chewy sweets that are called wine gums, but they don't taste like wine, but they're basically like your lime, lemon, strawberry, raspberry flavored chewy sweets. But they do have wine names on them, so they'll have like port written on one of them, for example.
Okay.
But they're good. I might send you guys a.
I was going to say,
I'm going to do it. I'm going to send you. There they are. Yeah, Bassett's wine gums. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to send you a package of English chocolate and sweets. I'm going to do it.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun to try some of these weird candies. Look at what are all these? Oh, look, Haribo makes
that
some.
one has the flag on it.
Hey, interesting.
No, you've got to have the Bassett's ones or the Maynard's ones.
These.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can send you some Sour Patch Oreos.
Yeah, right?
I wonder, what's the expiration on it? Let's try and find.
I mean, it's American, so do they really expire?
They got those chemicals in it.
They're so jam-packed with preservatives. You could probably eat those 3 years from now, and they'll still be good.
Do they really not have a...
The Zoo Boy. Jelly Babies, yeah. So Jelly Babies, they have like this sort of powder on them. I don't like the bigger Jelly Babies, but in a Haribo pack of, I think it's called the Kiddie Mix, they do these smaller Jelly Babies, and they're great.
Look at that, September of 2024. We could definitely...
we could get those to you. No problem.
Oh my God.
Who wants
You've
a bite?
opened them though, man. They'll be... Oh, come on.
Oh, no, we'd get you a fresh box.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of them at Target yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
We'll do a swap.
Yeah, a candy and treat swap. That sounds good.
Very good. Now I'm addicted, bro.
Dude, you're just munching away. You're gonna eat that
had
whole
3
box.
already. Literally after this stream, I'm going to go and raid the cupboard.
We always talk about food.
I mean, it's hard to do a stream, especially, I mean, like around this time, it's like, lunchtime, snack time. Like, I'm ready to eat right now. I'm ready to eat.
Do you guys have like these? Because I used to love Man versus Food. I used to love watching that. Where he would go around all these like pit barbecue places, and oh my God, and like they're smoking these meats for like 16 hours, and it's falling off the bone. We don't really have many of those places over here. They're growing because of the popularity of things like Man versus Food. But I just love those, man. Those.
Did you have any barbecue when you were in Nashville?
Yeah, so we...
Okay, good.
My friend Gary, he took us, we all went to one. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to say...
We did the same thing.
Yeah, Nashville's a hot spot for barbecues. So, like, when you're in that area, you're like, you gotta cut some time out. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, like we've got like some decent barbecue places around us, but we're more of like in the area where we live. The speciality is like hot dogs and like burgers and stuff like that. Since we're so close to Chicago,
Yeah.
and pizza is obviously a big one for this particular area. But there's some good barbecue spots. But like Texas barbecue, Nashville barbecue, stuff like that.
That's where it's at.
Like Jayhawk's saying, Kansas City. Yeah. All right.
I love all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. All right. So before we go, Tim, I know you said you're working on a couple of reviews. Do you have any other videos that you have coming out this week? Anything you wanted to share with the community for them to be on the lookout for content-wise?
Well, my Q&A video always goes live at 7:30 on a Sunday, so I do apologise. That did go live while I was on this stream, but it has to go every Sunday at that time. That's my Q&A one. People seem to like that. I answer sort of the community's questions about TVC and things like that. Apart from that, no, I will be reviewing these guys, and then I'm hoping to get so I've already reviewed Leia, but I'm hoping to get the rest of that wave. So we've got Vader and
R2, right?
R2, and there's some others. Captain Rex. That's the one I'm looking forward to, Captain Rex. So yeah, they'll be on the channel. That's about it. All I can think of really for what's coming up.
Nice.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. It's been fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It was great to have you on finally to have some nice juicy TVC stuff to talk about rather than us just boring you with a bunch of Black Series like normal. But yeah, thank you for coming on, Tim. We appreciate you. And
right.
As far as I don't have any reviews filmed. I've been a lazy ass, dragging my feet on the Droidica review, dragging my feet on the Fallen Order 3-pack, but work's been pretty busy. Life's been pretty busy. So I will definitely try my best to get those reviews out at some point. But figure it out as always, every single Friday. We never miss that,
True.
It's good. Just like Tim said, it's good to have a schedule. People rely and they come to expect these things to come out on the same day at the same time. So we get it. You're preaching to the choir here, Tim, about sticking to a schedule and having at least something come out on this day at this time.
Yeah.
That's how people come to, they come back to your channel every week when they can expect a video at the same time on the same day. So there you go. You heard it from Tim too. Keeping a schedule is a great way to post content on YouTube. So, I do also, shout out to Will Bond, our Discord mod, our one of our good buddies. Check out Monday Night Figure Ball tomorrow. That's always a great stream.
True.
That's on Will Bond's channel. I love watching that. It's great banter. There's some crazy guys over there. So check out Will Bond's stream tomorrow night. But
like this nice service. Is this the same person who said church earlier?
Yeah.
It was a great service, guys. Thank you for coming.
Yep. Oh, we got Luke tuning in right at the end. Yep. Sorry, Luke. We're about to head out from here, but yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. Of course, check out Figure It Out. Check out Bossk's Bounty. All that good stuff. Of course, I'm Nate. I've been joined with Justin.
See you guys later.
And we had Tim with us today.
Thank you.
And we will see you all next time on Out of the Basement.
See you guys.